This is Juan Gonzales, who's being questioned in the disappearance and possible murder of his wife, Kathy Lujan. Lujan had put up with being treated by Gonzales for almost 20 years before embarking on her own set of affairs. She had told multiple people that she was done with Gonzales and that if anything happened, he would be the one responsible. In May of 2016, Gonzales reported Lujan as missing. He claimed he returned home 3 days previously and she wasn't in the house. Lujan's car, phone, and credit cards hadn't been taken, suggesting that she didn't leave willingly. At first, the police believed Gonzales was a distraught husband, but as the detectives pieced the case together, they realized the facts weren't adding up.
I'm going to talk to you because I did find out that of course your wife had a double life, and we'll discuss about her double life. Okay?
I before you say anything else, I've been thinking about. I've known for a while, Rosie, but like if she decided to leave or something, don't do it like this, you know. But a part of me just, like me and Kathy, we were together a lot of years, and even when we were going through things, I could still feel her. Like we're still, you know how they say people think alike, you know, connected. But here lately,
there's a disconnect. Well, we'll discuss that, and then of course Mitch is here. He'll talk to you about the other stuff we talked. But there's some stuff I need to talk to you about.
Hold on, can I answer that? It's Nathan.
Yes, and then after that you need to turn it off, okay? Because we need to discuss
Hello?
some stuff.
I'm up here talking with the detective. I'm gonna have to turn the phone off, so I need you to be big and take care of Lee, okay? All right, I love you. All right.
We'll discuss about what I found and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things is that you know, that's why I asked you to come up here. You weren't able to come up here. An officer had to go pick you up. So because he's picked you up and we're in this room, I have to advise you of your rights. Because obviously you didn't come up here on your own. An officer brought you up here.
No.
So let me just read your rights and you tell me if you understand or don't understand, okay? It's just like a formality type of thing. You have the right to remain silent, not make any statement at all. Do you understand that? You have to say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. Any statements you make may be used against you at your trial. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Any statement you make may be used as evidence against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the right to have a lawyer present to advise you prior to and during any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
And if you're unable to employ a lawyer, you have the right to have a lawyer appointed to advise you prior to and during any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
And you have the right to terminate the interview at any time. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, Juan, what I want to do is talk to you about what I found about your wife. Are you willing to talk to me and discuss what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I had told you, I did find out. I did a bunch of research. I had gone to HEB, not just that, but also went to the cookie place where you and your wife worked, and did a lot of research, and I found out that she did have a double life. And she kept secrets from you, but she also kept secrets. She had 2 lovers.
Yeah, I knew that already.
Yes, and she kept secrets between them too. Okay? And on Wednesday, the day that she left, I need to go back and revisit and make sure I have all my bases covered on what exactly happened that morning. I mean, let's just start from the very beginning on Wednesday. And I may have gotten some information wrong, and I may not have. And maybe you remember things now that you didn't remember back then, because it was very emotional that Saturday when I went to your house. And a lot of things go through your mind and you can't remember everything. And that's going to be normal, okay? You said Wednesday she goes in from what time to what time at HEB?
She was working that day. She went in at 2 in the morning.
Okay.
Supposed to be till 10:30, but she doesn't ever get off at that time.
Okay. And she works in the bakery as the assistant manager?
Assistant lead manager.
Okay. What time did you wake up? Were you awake when she left that morning? Or she leave without you even knowing it?
I get up to check if I wake up and she's gone already, I wake up to make sure the front door is locked, like the screen door and the front door.
Okay.
Which, I mean, when I got up, it was already 6 o'clock because I get up to go to work at 7 in the morning.
Okay. So when she left to go to work at 2 a.m., were you up or asleep?
I was up.
Okay. What time did she leave?
She left early, like I told you that day. She had been leaving way before it was time to go. She probably left like 1:15, 1:30.
Okay. And she left in what vehicle?
The car.
Okay. That's the car she always drives, the black one. That Chevy Malibu.
We drive both of them, but when she's working, she drives the Malibu.
Okay. So you think she left at 1:15, 1:30. She left early, and she's supposed to be at work at HEB at 2 a.m. Okay, and then you said you got up at 6 a.m. Did y'all talk anymore between 1:15 or let's just say 1:15 and 6? Or was it
texting?
Oh, texting.
She was supposed to come and get me that morning to make sure he made it to daycare so that I wasn't late for work.
Okay.
I remember, yeah, I told you that too, that they did, that way I'm not late to work because I have to be there at 7. So she takes me to daycare. And either she takes Nate to school or Nate walks.
Okay.
So.
On that day, you said there was some texting between 1:15 till 6 a.m. About what time did you go to sleep?
It was off and on. It was off and on. Like, every time she leaves the house, I can't sleep right. You know, so it's off and on. I'm either up every 30, awake, not up, moving around, awake.
Right.
Like, I'll wake up, tossing and turning every 30 minutes, every hour until we get up. Because Lee's asleep with me in the bed at that time. Okay.
He sleeps with both of y'all, correct? And then Nathan has his own. Nate has his own room, just right across the hall.
Yeah.
Okay. So about 6 a.m. you get up, and did y'all already make arrangements through text or by phone?
Through text.
Okay. She was going to come pick up.
She was going to be at the house at 6:45.
Okay. She's going to take Nate to school, or did he take the bus that day? Do you remember?
Sometimes he takes the bus. Sometimes he walks. I don't remember that day. But it's not that I don't remember. I don't know because I'm gone already.
Okay.
When she got there at 6:45, I left.
Okay.
And she was there with Nathan and Lee.
And she makes sure that Nate gets to school, and she takes Lee to the daycare center. Okay. Obviously, that got done. And then between you get to work at 7, and that's when you were working at Potbelly. And you got off work what time?
It was before 2. It was before 2.
Okay. Between 7 and 2 or so, did you and Kat talk?
We texted.
Texted. What did y'all text about?
She wanted to make sure that I paid. Remember that day you were going through my phone about paying Brian? Wanted to make sure I paid Brian and made sure I brought her money, the $180. When I got off of work.
Okay. Anything else y'all talked about?
No.
Okay, tell me about Brian.
He's from Tobacco Alley.
And you owed him money?
Yeah, for a hot check. I remember I told you that.
And did you write it or she write it?
No, I wrote it.
Did you buy cigarettes or what did you buy with the hot check?
Gonzales frequently wrote hot checks, which was one of the many reasons he and his wife were fighting.
No, I just wrote a check to cash it because
he
cashes checks there.
Did you know it was going to be a hot check?
Yeah, but Kathy and I used to do that a lot because we knew the next day either she was getting paid or I was getting paid and the money was going to go into the account.
So by the time the check processes through the system, there would be money in the account. Okay. How much did you write that check for?
180.
Okay. Is that the only check you wrote? Okay. And then that's why you told her you were going to pay Brian at the Tobacco Alley.
Well, I told her I told her that, but then later, remember that day when you were at the house, I showed you you saw the text where I tell her I paid Brian already.
Right. And then she wanted the $180. Is that the money that was used to pay Brian, or is that something else?
No, that was something else. I gave her that money.
Okay, you gave her back that money. When did you give it back to her?
When I saw her at the house that afternoon.
Okay.
When she got off of work.
Okay. When you got home, who was at the house?
She was.
By herself? And what vehicle was out there?
The Malibu.
Okay. And then when you get there, you give her the $180, correct? Okay, and then what happened after the $180?
Well, no, when I got there, I was walking up, and remember I told you she was on the phone. I could hear her on the phone through the window. When I walked in, she tossed the phone, and I was like, who you on the phone with? You know? And she was like, nobody, and I was, we started, talking again, about what she's been doing, because it had been awkward in the house because she doesn't talk to us. She doesn't want to do anything with the boys anymore. The next 2 days she was supposed to be off. So I guess maybe she was making plans or something. Anyway, I gave her the money. And we got to talking, and then she was like, I said, I know you're, sleeping around, it hadn't been a secret, Rosie. I've been knowing for a while, And so I hated it when we'd walk in or we'd see each other and she's acting like she has to hide something. Everybody around us knew that she was changing, from her when she started losing all her weight. So anyway, she went to the room. I was in the kitchen for about 30 minutes, and she comes out and she's like, all right, look, this is what it is. I'm just going to go ahead and let you know. And she gives me the phone. And I start, going through the text. And, after that, she was like, I'm just going to leave for a while and I'll come back when I'm ready to talk about this. So I winded up leaving before her, though, at 3:30 to get the kids.
Okay, I'm going to go back. When she handed you the phone, was it already for you to like on the message part, or did she have it at a specific place for you to look at?
She had it on the text messages from Paul.
Okay,
it was
between her and Paul.
It was under Maggie, though. She had it under Maggie, HEB. And, like the text messages, only her text messages were there, though. Like the ones she's sending to him, all of his were erased. And so then she said, there's another one there under unknown name. Okay. And so that one just said unknown name on the title. Same thing, started going through those, and it was basically the same text as from Paul, like to Paul. She's
just a different, another number.
Yeah, like the same thing, the way you kissed me, blah, blah. It wasn't real sexual, but just through reading, and his were erased too. His incoming texts were erased too, and hers were there. But, anybody could have figured out what's going on. So I was just like, you've been doing this like this for this long,
Did she say how long she's been with them?
Well, I knew from the...
Gonzales was unusually upfront about Lujan's infidelities with the police, and he didn't try to hide the fact that he had fought with her shortly before her disappearance. Initially, this was enough to make the detectives believe he had nothing to hide. They were soon to discover that this decision was a calculated move.
Me, since before the first of the year, I think. But in February, when she started acting funny, like one time, like I was thinking about this the other day, about February the 3rd, it was before the Super Bowl, and she was getting ready for the Super Bowl, HEB. She was looking for a picnic basket. And, I could always tell, she was trying to, she'd be like, hey, why don't you, in Walmart this time, she was looking for a picnic basket. She says, why don't you go over there and see if they got any? Well, I already knew. It's just like any woman that knows that their man's cheating, or has that feeling, you keep eyes on them. Well, when she told me to do that, walk over here, look over there, I walked a few steps and turned around and came back with a basket, and she's on the phone. I already knew. And so when I went through the text messages that day, because I remember this too, she says, go up all the way to the 3rd, because weeks before, I had said, remember that time we were in Walmart? Were you talking to somebody on the phone? No. Well, so I guess she's sitting at home that day, because it was already leading up to this, she kept her, and this is another thing, and this is going up to what I'm telling you. Here lately, her father has wanted her to be away from me for some reason. He's always been the type of person, if we're struggling or she's struggling, he'll give her money to help, pay bills, whatever, or help pay with Lee's daycare, because it's over $500 a month. Here lately, he told her, if you're going to be with him, I'm not going to help you. He was pretty much cutting her off.
Lujan's father had never trusted Gonzales, and years of watching his daughter being treated poorly had taken their toll. When he realized that she was finally thinking about ending the relationship, he did everything he could to encourage that decision.
He was pretty much cutting her off. So she would come home, Dad don't want to help me if you're going to be here, so either you got to go or I got to go. I can always go to my dad's. So here lately, the past days that I've been thinking, I remember 7 years ago when Kathy and I split up because, and this goes back to when I told you that day, her cheating, I was hoping she would just get it out of her system that she was going through something, because I did a lot of wrong to her when I was in the music business, and, no secret Mitch here when I was dealing dope. You know, I was fooling around a lot, you know. So I took it as I deserved it. It's payback. You know, we never fought about it. I mean, I don't know, you know, what y'all got out of Nathan when y'all talked to him. We don't fight like that, Rosie. We don't fight like that. The neighbors can even tell you that. We don't fight like that, you know. And so anyway, her dad not wanting her to be with me 7 years ago when we split up because I went back to one of the mothers of two of my other kids. He paid Kathy $5,000 to go to Vegas and marry his new wife's son from the Philippines to get his green card, so long as she didn't get back with me. Well, we winded up getting back together within the month, you know. And I don't remember if it was, well, you're going to have to pay me that $5,000 back now that I gave you. So for 2 years, we went through this. And these are things that we've been through, you know, that we've been through other big things. We would argue every day. When you going to get divorced from this Fulio? You know, when you going to get divorced from this shithead? You know, stuff like that. Well, my dad and this and that. And so is your dad. Your dad has control of everything you do. You know, that's always been an argument with us.
So it's actually leading up to that point where he was like telling her either to leave you or he was going to cut her off.
Yeah, and these are things I've been thinking about, you know, and so like the other day when I talked to him on the phone, he'd be like, have you talked to the detective? And I'd be like, no, they haven't told me anything. And I said, have you talked to him? No, she hasn't talked to me. But then I talked to Paul, and Paul's like, yeah, Dad told me this. Why this man's lying to me, I don't know. Well, you know, it's no secret. He thinks I did something to his daughter. What I'm getting at, Rosie, we've been through way bigger things behind her dad, always being in the middle of us. And I've never done anything to Kat. I have a domestic violence way back in the day when we were together, you know?
Yeah, you told me about that.
And so I'm thinking about all these things like, why is he lying to me? What if, I mean, I'm just saying, what if Bruce knows where Kat's at? What if he sent her somewhere? But then again, we all of us, family and friends, are like, Kat wouldn't leave the kids like that.
Right. But you went through the text messages and you found that one under Maggie, the Paul one, and you found the other one under unknown. Obviously, you knew something was going on because of what her text messages said, because his was not, but you knew what it was leading to.
And then back to that, you know, that's what I'm getting at. Like, I already knew that she was doing something. So anyway, after I read all the text messages and she told me back to that, you know, on the third when we were in Walmart, I was talking to Paul. Okay. You know, and even before that, before the first of the year, when she was going to San Antonio to train, her and I had gotten into an argument and she even told Carmel this. I don't know if you told Carmel. Here lately it's been Kat. It's like she was trying to push me away from her. Like,
Carmel was?
No, Kat.
Oh, Kat.
Kat. And she was like, she would get mad at me for little stuff. Like, yeah, when I was doing bad things, yes, be mad at me, stay mad at me. And then I lost my job right before the first of the year. You know, I started working for Lori's. Well, this is right at first year. Started working for Lori's, and I got laid off because they weren't as busy as I thought they were going to be. Right. Well, she winds up getting mad at me about that. And she even tells me, you know, what's messed up is that, you know, Kathy tells me what's messed up is that this ain't even your fault this time, and I'm still mad at you. She would make comments that she's living in my past. My pastor will tell you that because I've talked to my pastor about it, Curtis Benninghoff from the Pentecostal church I go to. Mm-hmm. He will tell you that a month ago I told him that I knew Kathy was cheating on me after I got baptized Easter Sunday. And I was just living through it. I was leaving it in God's hands. You know, I wasn't perfect. Right. This is what she's doing. We'll get through it. You know, she's at that age, I guess, I don't know, no disrespect, you know, to any woman. You know, y'all go through your things at a certain age. Her mom did the same thing to her dad at this age. They got divorced. She got married to another dude, you know, from Odessa. Mm-hmm. So these are all the things I'm thinking about.
That are leading up to what you're coming up to. Yeah. So when when the text messages, you saw them, what happened after she showed you the phone and you went through the text messages? You said something about, she said she was going to leave, but she didn't leave.
She says, I'm just going to go ahead and go. I said, that's up to you. And I went to the kitchen to wash dishes. And remember, I told her she went to the room. Mm-hmm. She didn't talk to me for a while.
Went to the bedroom, right?
Yeah. And I was in the kitchen washing dishes, and I was just like, you know, with not an attitude, like in my mind, like, man, you know, how could she do this to the kid? And me, no, because like I say, I was never perfect. And she comes back out. She says, I'm just going to leave for a while, and I'll come back when I'm ready to talk about what we're gonna do, with the kids wise, and this and that. Either you stay in the house or I'll go to my dad's, whatever.
Okay.
So when I left to go get the kids,
Right. So she was still at the house when you left to go pick up the kids. Mm-hmm. Who's the first one you went to go pick up?
Leadrian. I always pick up Leadrian first because Nate doesn't get out till 4:05.
Okay. And you picked them up at the village daycare center?
Mm-hmm.
What did you go in?
The truck.
The truck. Okay. So at the house, make sure I got this right, it's just going to be her by herself and her vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And then from about what time did you go pick up Leadrian?
3:30 I left the house, so I had to have been there no later than 3:45.
Okay. And then at that point, did you go back to the house or did you go somewhere else?
We went to Nathan's school to wait for Nate.
And he goes to Alamo, if I remember it. You told me correct. Correct? Okay, at Alamo, about what time do you think you got there?
It was before 4:05 because we always sit outside and wait for him in the parking lot.
Okay.
And he usually gets to the car. He comes from around the back of the school, so the bell rings at 4:05, so usually we don't see him till like anywhere between 4:10 and 4:15 at the latest.
And from there, after you pick up, of course, you picked up Leadrian, then you pick up Nate. What happened after that?
We went to the house.
And when you get home, when you're pulling up, what do you see?
The car's there.
The car's there, okay.
So I figured she was still there, And because sometimes we would have little disputes like this or a little quick argument, but that day it wasn't an argument. It was like, because it was no secret. Mm-hmm. And she had here lately, even Carmela T, she's, and another friend that I was talking to the day before yesterday said that she saw Kathy in HEB a couple weeks ago and that Kathy looked her up and down like, she was just too good for Kathy.
When she lost that weight, she thought she was better than everyone.
And I'm not talking bad about my wife, Rosie, but I went through the same thing when I was in the music business and didn't dope. I thought I was the doo-doo, I thought I was all that, and she used to tell me the same thing, but,
so when you get to the house and you see the car there, you pull up in the driveway, and then you go up in the house. Was the door locked or unlocked or what?
No, it was unlocked.
Okay. Mm-hmm. The screen door unlocked and the front door unlocked.
Mm-hmm. Well, we leave it unlocked a lot. Like that one night when you came to get the car and the keys were in the car, you just leave the keys in the car. We do that stuff there all the time. Now at night when we go to sleep, we make sure the doors are locked. But it was unlocked. Okay. Anyway, we walked in. She wasn't there. So I figured Carmel had come to pick her up, or one of the guys, And because I remember talking to you last week, that how was I to know if one of these guys had
done something or whatever?
No, had been in the house before already, and I didn't know about it. Mm-hmm. So
when you go in there, she's gone. Did you call her? Try to find out because what did you? What I'm trying to get at, did you call her when you knew she was gone?
No, because she told me she was going to leave for a while. And when Kat here lately, and Kat's always the type of person when she's in her little zone or mad or upset, just leave her alone. Because it just makes it worse with her, And so I went to the kitchen. I told Lee, go to the bed, because after school, Lee always goes to the bedroom with the TV tray. That's where he likes to eat his snacks and watch Netflix. So I went to the kitchen and got him something to munch on, went to the bedroom, and I noticed that 2 of Kat's pillows were gone in a blanket from the bed.
Gonzales tried to work the missing bedding into his story, but it just didn't make sense. Why would Lujan abandon her children, phone, and credit cards, but take a blanket and pillows?
The 2 pillows, like you're telling me, if I remember right, it's like the kind from the Holiday Inn, those big long
she used to say that she'd confiscate them from the... Like when she would go to San Antonio to train for HEB, she'd confiscate some pillows from the hotel room.
Do you know what kind of linen was on the pillows? What color or anything?
Like maybe brown or beige, like the same colors that are on the bed right now. She's still got one there that has, I don't know if y'all saw in the bedroom, there's a black pillow that's real soft and it's got black stuff all over it. It's her mascara. Because she got a habit of coming home from work when she gets off sometimes, and she'll just lay down and take a nap, and that pillow don't ever have a pillowcase, and you know. So.
And you said a blanket or a comforter?
Yeah, it was a comforter.
What color is the comforter?
The same color as the one that's on the bed.
Maroon?
Maroon and gold.
And that's the one her mom got her or whatever?
Yeah.
Like that's the one you said was like a Korean made
Blanket.
What was the print on it?
I don't remember if it was lions or bears. I just know that the colors are maroon and gold, and it's that real soft, real
like the San Marcos.
Yeah. Like what we were talking about.
Okay. Do you notice any like her purse or anything like that gone or anything like that?
Her black Coach purse was gone.
Okay. When you get there and you notice her car's there, everything's gone. How about her phone?
Her phone was gone too. She's not gonna leave anywhere without her phone.
Okay. And after that, after you left to go pick up the kids, you never physically saw her again. Okay. And then, at what point did you call or check to get a hold of her, either by phone? I mean, calling her or texting her?
It was later that evening. I texted her to see if she was gonna come home. And I don't remember if it was that day or Thursday when she told me to leave her alone and that she was going to stay with a friend. And I asked her in between the next 24 hours, you know, I was like, this is enough already. This is BS already.
Right.
You know, she needs to, you know, let us know because the kids leave. It's hard to put Lee to sleep without one of us in the house. If one of us is gone, it's hard to put him to sleep.
And he's used to both of y'all.
Yeah. And so I don't remember if it was Thursday night. It was Thursday, I think. When I texted her to see if she was going to come home, she said, just leave. I texted her something. I remember at one point I texted her, she said, leave me alone. Then the next time I texted her, I was like, are you going to come home tonight? She says, I'm staying with a friend. And I said, with who? Carmel.
Right.
And she said, that's not any of your business.
Right.
And that's the last time I ever heard from her because it was Thursday. Because then Friday, texting her, she wouldn't answer the phone. Then tried to call her and the phone was off.
Right.
You know.
When you went to go pay for that check that you wrote, was it before you got home or after you left the house?
To get the kids? No, I went and paid for that after I got off of work.
Okay, and then you went to the house. Okay. Okay. Anything else you can think of beside me until I show up at your house?
The only thing, Wednesday when I picked up the boys, they got a camera at Village. I can't remember if I was in the truck or the car. I'm thinking about that right now.
Okay, say that again. I didn't understand.
Wednesday when I went to pick up the kids,
Uh-huh.
you'd have to go to Village. I don't know if y'all have. They've got a camera system. I don't remember if I was in, because the truck's dirty. The truck's always dirty. And I'm pretty sure I was in the truck, but I might have been in the car. I'm not for sure. I'm pretty sure I was in the truck, bro.
Okay. But I mean, I was just wondering because you said when you got home from the boys, you knew the car was home.
Yeah,
the black car.
I had to be in the truck. I know I drove the car it was later that day. I went to HEB, I think, and I drove the car.
Between going from work, did you go anywhere? Or you went straight to Tobacco Alley? Do you remember?
No, I went straight to Tobacco Alley.
Okay, and then from Tobacco Alley, you went straight to the house. And then from when you left there, you went straight to go pick up the boys. And then you came home, and that's when she's gone. You didn't go anywhere else that you can remember, not during that time period, by the time you get off work and pick up the boys. Is that the only places you went?
Yeah.
And then after you pick up the boys, at one point you end up going to HEB.
Yeah, because anybody will tell you that knows us, Rosie. I'm always with the boys. I don't even have a friend life anymore since when I met Mitch and them years back. You know, when Lee was born. Since Lee was born, I have people that I talk to on the phone. You know, but I don't go out no more. I don't drink. You know, I'm always at home. You know, so Kathy had more friends than me here lately.
I've listened because I want to make sure I got everything right. And I've listened to everything you said. I have some problems with some things I need to get cleared up. But there's some issues that I'm having with what you're telling me. I did, I told you that I downloaded your phone to get those messages. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to tell you, I got a search warrant also for your phone through Verizon. Mm-hmm. And I got all your information from Verizon. Mm-hmm. I did the same thing to her phone. I don't have her phone physically, but I did a search warrant, and I got all the information from her cell phone. Mm-hmm. And obviously we know that she was cheating on you. That's no secret at all. And I can tell you before March that she's been cheating on you. Anyone in your position would be pissed off. I understand that you've done your stuff back in the past, but if she wasn't arguing, if y'all had arguments, y'all dealt with it, and y'all moved on, correct? Mm-hmm. And then y'all end up having the Adrian. Mm-hmm. So I can understand you being upset with her if she's cheating on you, because I would be upset. Do you agree with me with that?
Yeah, anybody would be upset, but it wasn't upset enough to do anything.
Okay. And like I said, I did some research, and I found that you left work earlier than that, and you went to different places in town. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that?
I don't know. I'm always driving around. Where did I go?
Well, you went to different areas. But one thing that I do know is I have Kathy leaving HEB, because I went and got the video. I have her. She's wearing the pink shirt that you told me with the HEB, mm-hmm. those black pants like you told me. Mm-hmm. And she has her hair up. She leaves the bakery. She checks her, clocks out, leaves in her vehicle in the black car, mm-hmm. and comes home. Because she's at home. While she's at home and she's talking to you and texting you throughout the day, you had told her something about you were up here at the police station talking to the detective.
Oh yeah, that's because she's yeah. I went to Skip's house that day in between that time. Okay. I was trying to avoid her because she was mad at me about that $180 that I told you about. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I told her that I was at the police station talking to detectives about a stolen gun.
Okay, tell me about the stolen gun.
There was some words said that they thought that I stole the gun, there's no truth to that.
Whose gun did you steal? Chachi's, okay. Mm-hmm. Did you ever talk to Chachi about that?
No.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And that was just you kind of bluffing her, telling her you were here, but you were really at whose house? Skipper's. Mm-hmm. Okay. About what time did you get to Skipper's house?
The detectives interviewed Gonzales multiple times, and he changed his timeline of that day nearly every time he told his story. None of his versions matched up with his cell phone information.
I know it was before 2.
Okay. Because you got home about 2, I guess. So did you go pay the hot check first or go to Skipper's first?
I went to Skipper's first.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you went to the hot check. Mm-hmm. Okay, then I'm going through her messages, and what I could read, while she's texting you, she's texting not Paul, but a different guy mm-hmm. that she's having an affair with. Mm-hmm. And those are pretty risque text messages that I read. You probably read her side, but I read his as well. Because I have those. Mm-hmm. And on there, it's about 12, almost 1 o'clock, and she said that that you were on your way, and I can see where y'all calling each other back and forth mm-hmm. and texting, but mostly calling at that point. And you go to her house. Mm-hmm. While you're there, something happened. I know something happened there. I have no doubt, but I need to know if it was an accident, she attacked you, or something happened. I know something happened. You and I both know that.
Nothing happened.
Something happened.
Nothing happened, Rosie. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Me and Kathy had gotten into it before, and she scratched my face, things mm-hmm. like that, my arms, my chest. Nothing happened that day. Nothing.
Well, as I'm going through her phones and stuff, there's a phone that she had a lot of conversations with Chachi, and so did you. Mm-hmm. And there's a particular one, which I'm not quite understanding, is on Friday the 13th. She's gone, and you have her phone and your phone.
No, I didn't have her phone. I had been on the computer, and this is something else I was going to tell you. Here recently, somebody changed the password to the computer. I can't even get on the computer to log on to see what our bill is. I saw that Chachi had called Kathy's phone. You can see this stuff through the computer, like when incoming call stuff come. So I know she had been talking to Chachi a lot because he thought that I had stole his roommate's gun or his gun, whoever's gun it was, one night when I was over there. So I texted him that Kat was asleep, and then texted him from, you can do this, because when I used to work with the DEA, and I would take Kat's phone with me, like when mine was dead, or take both phones, she would text me to the phone through the computer. She taught me how to do this. That's how I texted Chachi. I didn't have Kat's phone. I don't have Kat's phone.
Okay, first of all, the stuff I got didn't come from the computer. It came from Verizon, and it came from her cell phone. I'm going to tell you, he called Kathy. And you knew he called Kathy.
Through the computer?
Not through the computer, no, sir. Not through the computer.
Well, I don't know, Rosie, but I don't have Kat's phone.
You had it that day. And you know what else I know? When we did the search warrant, I did it for the cell site towers. And it shows to be at your house. Your phone is there, and her phone is there. All the way up to the 13th.
I've had my phone, and that's it.
Her phone is there as well. And I'm trying to find an explanation why her phone was at your house after she left on the 11th.
I don't know. Y'all searched the house, or y'all can search it again. There's no phone there.
After the 13th, I'm sure it's not there now, but I'm telling you, it was there up to the 13th. And that phone, those things come from the phone. It doesn't come from the computer. And it's showing at your house. Even when you went to Dino's Pizzeria, you had your phone in. Her phone was there along with yours.
Lujan's phone and credit cards were found in a Ziploc bag shoved behind the headboard.
Because I was able to follow you.
I understand all that, but I didn't have her phone.
There's no other explanation. You had it. We're going to cross past that, but I know you had it. Now, I have other situations. I went ahead and pulled up her finances. What did you think I find?
I told you, I'm always using the birthday, the pin.
On that day, you said you went directly to the house. You went to and paid. You went to Skipper's, and then you went and paid, and then you went to the house and talked to her.
I went to the bank and pulled the money out to pay the dude from Tobacco Alley.
That's why I was asking. You didn't tell me that.
Well, I had to get the money from somewhere.
How much money did you withdraw?
$200.
Okay, and then from there, where did you go?
I went and paid Brian.
Okay, and then?
I went back to the house. And then went and got the boys.
How about
first? And then went to the other one and got the money out. But like I say, I've always had access.
I understand that you went and withdrew money.
Over the next few days after Lujan disappeared, Gonzales slowly drained the money from her accounts. He claimed that he had every right since they were joint accounts. But Lujan's coworkers said that he was always taking money from Lujan that was meant to go toward other things.
Went to Tobacco Alley, and you went in that order.
That's what you're telling me, or asking?
That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
I want to know why you're not telling me all of this.
I'm not trying to hide anything.
It seems like you're trying to hide it.
I'm not trying to hide it. You're asking me now, and I'm telling you. I'm not trying to hide anything.
Well, what I'm not understanding, and I'm trying to find out what happened, did she commit suicide at the house, and you found her like that, and you freaked out and thought we were going to blame you?
No. If anything happened at the house or she committed suicide, there'd be blood everywhere. Why would there be blood everywhere? I don't have time I wouldn't have had time to do anything to my wife, Rosie, and then clean something up before getting the boys. Nothing happened at the house. I didn't do anything to Kat. She didn't do anything to herself at the house.
Well, now you're talking about blood. We found blood in the truck.
I know that because Carmel told me you told her that.
I didn't tell her that.
Well, Somebody told her that.
Well, I don't know who told her, but I didn't tell her that. But I'm telling you, there's blood there.
Mm-hmm.
How did that blood get there?
I don't know.
Look, this is what I think happened. I think that she's cheating on you, definitely. You're hurt. She did something to you where you were either defending yourself, or either you attacked her because you wanted to, or you were defending yourself. It's one or the other. I think you were defending yourself, and you didn't mean to hurt her.
Mm-mm. Kathy.
But Kat didn't leave the house. Kat didn't leave with anybody. Those two other guys that she's with, they have nothing involvement. They're not even around the house. They don't even know where she lives. And I also did search warrants on their cell phones. And nothing around there. I know exactly where they were at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And you went from work over there to Skipper, and you have all these other phone calls to Damien, to Miss Rose.
Yeah, I call them all the time.
And she's all mad because you stole $180 and she was done with you. She told everybody at work she was done with you. And she said to you she was done with you. And she was mad because you were trying to get into her phone when she had a password. I got all that from her phone.
Yeah, and the day I got there, I didn't get into her phone. She opened it up for me to look at it.
And something happened.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Nobody hurt her anywhere else. And she didn't leave that house. She wouldn't have left without her stuff. And she wouldn't have left without her kids.
That's what we've all said.
Yes.
Well, no, she would have left the kids with me because she knows I'm going to take care of them.
She wouldn't have left the kids for this long period. And
That-
she never left the house.
That we understand.
Okay, and she never left the house.
Well,
On her own. No, she didn't.
I'm not saying she did. I just said, well, I don't know what to tell you. I didn't do anything to her.
I think you did. And I'm trying to figure out, was it an accident or did you purposely plan all this out to kill her?
Nope. Mm-mm. I didn't make no plans to hurt her.
Well, everything else is showing that you did. And that blood that's going to be in the vehicle is going to be her blood.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, I didn't do anything to Kat. That's all I know.
Then Kat did something to herself there. And you took her somewhere.
You're trying to make me, you're trying to put this on me either or. Did she commit suicide and I took her somewhere, or I planned to kill her, or...
Well, it was an accident. You were defending yourself.
Or it was an
But
accident.
it's something that happened between y'all two and nobody else. It's just y'all two.
Mm-mm.
Yes, sir.
Nope. Mm-mm.
There is no other explanation. And what we're trying to do is, you're talking about Leadrian can't be without her. Leadrian needs her.
Yeah.
But she ain't coming back alive. You and I both know that. And when Adrian gets older, he's going to want a place to go visit her at her graveyard site. And we owe him
We
that.
all are.
We owe him that.
If that's what happened, we all are, but...
That's exactly what happened.
Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. No.
Yes. Let's just try to get her back home.
What do you want me to do?
Tell me where you took her so we can bring her back home.
I didn't take her anywhere, Rosie. I didn't take her anywhere. I've been at home with the boys since that day. I did not take her anywhere. I've left the house to go see Damien, Skipper, Rose.
Because of the pain pills.
Yeah, but where would I have taken her?
You tell me.
You say you've been watching my cell phone?
I did a search warrant from that day.
Mm-hmm. Where would I have taken her?
Well, you had, like I told you, did you hurt her?
Nope.
Did you kill her?
Nope.
Did she attack you?
Nope.
Were you defending yourself?
Nope.
Did she commit suicide?
I don't know.
Did she commit suicide at the house?
Nope.
Well, she never left the house. Someone talked, and no one else. It was just you and her at the house.
I understand what you're saying, Rosie, but when I left and we got back, she was gone.
When you left in her car. When you went to go pay, you say you went to Skipper's and you were in her car. When you went to go pay Tobacco Alley, you were in her car.
Yeah, that.
When you went to the bank, you were in her car.
That's
and
right.
You hadn't gotten home yet. Because you went to Skipper's first and you said you paid Tobacco Alley first before you went home. How did you have the car? You went to Skipper or whatever. How did you have the car?
When I got home, that's why I'm telling you, I couldn't remember. I think I might have been in the car that day because I remember at the bank.
But you said that when you did all of that before you went home to talk to her, she had the car. I have her at the car, leaving HEB. There's no way you had the car.
Gonzales didn't have time to plan the murder, or else he might have been more careful about the cell phones. The detectives were able to place Lujan in her home until the time Gonzales returned.
So all that happened after you were at her house, not before like you told me.
What? I don't understand what you're saying. I had the car, but what happened before?
You said you went to Tobacco Alley. You went to Tobacco Alley, before you went home. Because you paid him the hot check.
Yeah.
Before you went home. No, you were at home first because you're in the car.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You didn't go home. That's not what you told me.
That's why when I told you a while ago, Rosie, check the cameras at the village, I don't remember if I was in the truck or the car.
I'm not talking about the village. I'm talking about before that. You said you were at Tobacco Alley. You went home to talk to Kat to find out about the affair that she was having on you. How did you end up with her car before you even... There's no way. Explain to me how you ended up in the car. If you left work, you had the car. You went home first. I'm not confusing you.
No, you're just because a person don't tell you bit by bit everything. I know I went to the house first. I had Kathy's money on me already.
Right.
From that morning when I took it. I went home. I gave her that money. She shows me the text messages. I wind up leaving in the car.
That you paid Tobacco Alley before. You said you paid tobacco and did all that stuff before you got home to talk to her about, before she showed you the phone, before she went to the bedroom, before you went to the kitchen. You sent her a text saying that you paid Brian.
Mm-hmm.
And you weren't at home yet because you were en route to the house. When you get to the house, you tell her or text her whatever that you paid Brian and that you gave her the $180.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. But you were in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Then explain to me how you did all of this in the car and you had not been at home yet. You just told me you did all this first before going home.
Well, I'm telling you, I went home first then. That's why I told you a while ago that I couldn't remember if I was in the truck or the car. I do a lot. Me and Kathy both do a lot of things every day. I can't tell you bit by bit like a movie what I do and what I do first. I'm just telling you what I know I did that day.
Yes, and you're changing it.
I'm not trying to change anything, but you're sitting here telling me that one of three different things happened between me and Kat.
Yeah, because one of those things happened.
No, not between me and Kat. Not between me and Kat. We don't fight like that, Rosie. We don't fight like that.
That day something happened. Something like that did happen.
Mm-mm. Nothing happened like that. Nothing has ever happened like that. We don't fight like that.
That day something did happen.
I don't understand how you're being this adamant that I did something to her or she tried to do something to me and it was an accident back and forth, or I found her dead and moved her somewhere. There's nothing like that that happened. Nothing.
Well, you know how you said I was adamant? Because I know it. You and I both know it.
Mm-mm. You want to say that I did something to her, or
I'm not saying, I'm telling you.
I did not do anything to her. She didn't try to do anything to me. She didn't commit suicide and I moved her. However it is you're telling me I did it, I did not do that. And
you're at her house. I think, you didn't let me finish, but let me finish this. When you're at the house, you were upset with her. I mean, obviously you're going to be upset with her because she was cheating on you. It doesn't matter if you cheated her on the past or not. The point is that she cheated on you, and she had this other life from you, hidden from you.
We knew, everybody knew already. I knew it. That day was just because she was ready to go ahead and go and do her own thing. I'd already known for, like you say, back in March. I'd already known since back before the first of the year when she was going to San Antonio, she was doing it. I had that.
You couldn't prove it.
It wasn't about proving anything.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't about proving anything.
You tell me, you text all these other people on her phone. You text Paul. You text the unknown person.
I didn't text anybody.
That phone is at your house. No computer, no nothing, but you text them.
I didn't text anybody.
Because the language is different for the way she talked to them and to her friends.
I didn't text anybody, Rosie. I knew since the get-go, since that day you walked up, your whole attitude changed towards me when her father told her that, or told you that he was sure I did something to Kat.
It wasn't just Lujan's father who expressed concern. Other family members, friends, and coworkers told the police that Gonzales was the most likely suspect. Lujan had grown increasingly worried, warning people that if something happened to her, it wasn't an accident, and Gonzales would be responsible.
You've been a fucking dick with me ever since. No. Yes, you have.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
Because when I walked in there, I was concerned for her safety. I asked to search her room. And what woman's going to leave behind her checkbook, her debit, her cards, debit cards, and all that?
She has more than one checkbook. She used to keep checkbooks in the safe at the cookie store. Other checkbooks in the safe at the cookie store. She used to keep a piggy bank in the safe at the cookie store.
She didn't leave at home free will.
Well, I didn't make her leave. I didn't take her anywhere. Nothing.
She didn't leave that house in her own free will. And I was just trying to figure out if there was a reason why. If you can tell me why it happened. So then you're just a cold-blooded killer.
No, I didn't kill anybody. I've never killed anybody.
You killed her.
I did. Mm-hmm.
So all this technology is lying.
It doesn't mean that I had her phone, Rosie.
It does. You had her phone. You told Chachi. How would you have known? And don't tell me through the computer, because everything I got was not from the computer. It's from her phone.
I don't know, Rosie. But I didn't do nothing to my wife. I want her to come home just as bad as anybody else.
Well, she's not going to come back home. And what I'm doing here is not for you. It's for Lee Adrian.
And Nathan.
Mm-hmm. They have the right to know where their mom is. They have the right to go somewhere to visit her.
I don't know where she's at. I don't know where she's at. I wouldn't do something like that to the boys.
You know what? I actually think you wouldn't do that for the boys. I don't think you woke up that morning and planned to kill her. I think it was an accident.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
You decide. Either it was an accident or you're a cold-blooded killer.
I don't have to decide on that because I didn't do either or. No, either or didn't happen.
It did. At the house.
Lujan was apprehensive, but she was ready to end the relationship. She knew there was a risk, but she didn't expect Gonzales to harm her when there was a chance the boys would find her.
Or somewhere else that it happened. She was scared to death to tell you about this. You're going to expect me to believe that she showed it to you?
She was not scared. The way she had been acting lately, she was not scared. Kathy wasn't scared of me like that. If she was scared of me like that, she could have gone to her dad's a long time ago.
And then for her to tell people if anything ever happened to her, you did it.
That I don't believe because
Yes.
we haven't been fighting like that.
She told someone that day before she left HEB. An employee, not Paul, another employee.
Nope. I don't believe that for 1 minute.
Well, I tell you, that's what she said.
We don't.
If anything ever happened to me, Paul did it.
I'm
sorry, you did it.
That's he say, she say stuff because we never fought like that.
This person has nothing to gain. Why would this person lie about something like that?
People do stuff like that all the time.
Not
Rosie.
about that.
Nah, you're trying to make me tell you something that didn't happen and that I didn't do.
Now I'm trying to get you to tell me the truth.
There's nothing to tell you. There is nothing to tell you. Nothing. Other than what I've told you.
What you told me is lies.
No, they're not. I don't know what else to say. Like I said,
Help me find Kathy and bring her home.
I don't know where Kathy's at, Rosie.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Like I said, where would I have taken her?
Or did you dump her?
Whatever. I didn't take her anywhere. I didn't dump her anywhere. You said you've been following me with the phone or whatever it was you did.
I went on that phone from that day. I can't follow you now on the phone. I did it from that day to see what happened on that day. Your phone, her phone, and the other two guys' phones. And her phone was with you up till the 13th. And she was gone. At your house.
I don't know, Rosie. There's nothing else that I can tell you. I don't know where she's at. I didn't dump her nowhere. And like I keep telling you, nothing happened between me and her, and I didn't do anything to her.
So you expect me to believe that she just walked out on her own and never came back?
I don't know, Rosie. She's been doing a lot of stuff lately that I don't know about.
All I found on her stuff is that she doesn't want to be with you anymore. That she wanted you out, and that you knew she was done with you.
She had been telling me that since before that day.
Yes.
I was just trying to work things out for the kids' sake.
She wasn't going to work it out. She was done with you. She was done with you stealing her money. She was done with you passing checks, not just one, but you did 2 at Tobacco Alley.
They didn't cash the other one.
It doesn't matter. You still took it. She knew about that. And the only reason he called her that evening, and then he called her that morning at 10 o'clock, and that's when she told you about that too. She said she was done.
Yeah, she called me when I was at work.
Mm-hmm.
But that was also, this stuff had been going on for a long time. Nobody's perfect. I ain't perfect. She's just like when we worked at the cookie store. That's how she got in trouble for the $30,000. She was skimming the register. She was always taking money.
We're not talking about her stealing.
I know that. I'm just saying. That's how I learned how to do that stuff. She did it. I wouldn't even see my paychecks. She would take my paychecks and forge my signature on them and deposit them. Just like my income tax check I was supposed to get. I never got that because she got it.
She was mad at you because you were stealing her money. You would pass. And when she disappeared, that's all you did. You went to all these different places.
I do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean
She said she was tired of it.
She didn't tell me
She
that.
told it to other people. And she told you she was done.
It doesn't mean I did anything to Kathy, Rosie. I didn't do anything to Kathy. I don't know where she's at. I didn't dump her body nowhere like you're saying. Just, I didn't do anything to her.
What do you think should happen to a person that did something like that to her?
They should have to pay.
Pay like how?
I don't know, to go to jail, go to prison.
What are you more scared of right now?
I'm not scared of anything. I didn't do anything. I don't have anything to hide. Why would I be scared?
Because something happened to Kathy and you did it.
No. Didn't do anything.
Well, this is the opportunity that I'm giving you right now to get it cleared and let it work out in your favor because you're being honest and coming forward. And if you're not willing to take that, then it's just going to make you look like you did this all on your own and did it purposely.
How does that make anybody look like that?
Because it's what it is.
You just want me to tell you something I didn't do so that you can be, all right, bam, we got him to tell us. But then you're sitting there telling me that if I don't tell you, it's going to make me look bad?
Of course it does.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Because it's all it's showing is that you're not willing to come forward and take care of your business and be clean about it.
I'm not being clean because I didn't do anything. I don't have anything to be honest about Kathy. I didn't do anything to her.
You have nothing to be honest about, Kathy?
As far as doing something to her, I didn't do anything to her. How am I going to tell you I did something to her when I didn't?
Because we all know you did.
I didn't do anything to her, Rosie.
She's not going to come back alive. She's not out there. And her dad's not hiding her. Her brother's not hiding her. She's not with those guys. They're not hiding her. And she's not going to leave her kids. Besides those two guys, I can't find anyone else that she's with.
I don't know, Rosie.
That blood that was in the truck, you can't explain that.
I can't explain it because I don't know about the blood in the truck.
The inconsistencies in Gonzales' story, as well as his ability to explain details, such as the blood found in the truck, have painted him into a corner. Even if the phone had been found, he might have been able to deny knowing about it if he hadn't used it multiple times.
I don't know what to tell you, Rosie. I just know I didn't do what you're saying I did. You're going to sit here and stare at me all day?
I was saying, you're going to tell me.
I don't have anything to say. There's nothing to tell you. I keep telling you that. There's nothing for me to tell you.
So you're going to say that some random guy went in there in your house?
I'm not saying that either.
Okay.
I'm not saying that either. Kathy used to go for walks too. You know, there's anything that could have happened. It doesn't mean that I did it. You wanted me to tell you something that I didn't do.
Is there another explanation that I don't know about?
I don't know, Rosie. Y'all, I've been sitting around thinking about everything too. Like I say, me and Kat didn't fight like that. And Manuel, since I've been sober, you know, off of alcohol and dope.
Being sober off of that, you're not sober. Because if you were sober, you wouldn't be doing painkillers.
I understand that. I'm talking about, I said alcohol and dope. I said
dope
alcohol
is also
and dope.
pain pills.
So you keep topping something off with something else. And this is stupid. I didn't do anything to my wife, Rosie.
I'm going to step out for a little bit and I'll be right back.
Yeah, round 2.
Whatever.
Can I talk to him for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mitch, don't even start, dude.
Just Bryce, settle down.
Oh, man.
Listen, I'm going to tell you straight up, looking at you, I don't think you did anything.
Well, you know, like, why is she
Relax.
just drilling me like that?
Because that's her job.
I know, but
That's her job.
After seeing that Gonzales was becoming hostile with the style of questioning, they decided to send in a different detective. Gonzales knows him from previous troubles with the law, and there is a certain amount of rapport.
And they're trying to figure out what happened. The only thing that bothers me is I don't think you did anything to her. I've known you for a long time, and I watch how you act, and I've talked to you a bunch of times. But I'm telling you, something happened. I don't think you did anything to her. But I think you know where she's at.
I don't know.
Hang on. And the reason, and I'm not going to bang you up, and I'll just get out here and leave in a minute. But here's the deal. Why I think that is because I've known you for a while. I've known you for a long time. I've helped you out. I've always been straight up with you. I'm not going to blow smoke at you and all that stuff. I don't think you did anything. But I think something happened that you're not involved in, and like if she did something to herself or something happened. And I think because of your feelings for your kids and all that stuff, that you might have not wanted them to see it, and you might have moved something. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I can look in your eyes and tell I don't think you did anything. I've known you for a long time, but I know you know where she's at.
I don't know where she's at, Mitch. Those are games too.
No, I'm not playing a game with you.
You're telling me that you don't believe I did something to her, so I can go ahead and tell you, yeah, okay.
No. I believe that because the way you looked at her when you were answering her. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to tell you, the way you looked at her when you're answering her, when you said I didn't do anything, it was a very, very good answer. But when she said, did she do something to herself, and you adamantly said, I did not do anything to her. I'm just telling you, I've watched you for a long time. I've interviewed you on other things. So I know how much you like, your relationship with your kids. I've seen you at school. I've seen you take your kids to school. So I know all that stuff. And I'm not going to play games with you. And I'll get out of here and leave in just a minute. But I'm just telling you, you're going to have to step up for their sake. And if you didn't do it, you know who, I'm not saying did anything criminal to her. I'm not saying any of that happened because I don't know. I'm just saying I believe that for whatever reason, people make strange decisions under stress, that somebody thought it was a better idea that A to happen as opposed to B.
I understand what you're saying, Mitch.
So, but like I said, I'm going to tell you, and I'm not blowing smoke at you. I can look in your eyes and I watch how you answer the questions. You got a bunch of other stuff going on here with, I don't know, whatever pills, and nobody cares, and hot checks, and nobody really cares. But that's clouding your ability to specifically pinpoint certain things that happen during certain periods of time. And that makes you look bad. You know it. you've done this. You understand this. So being able to recollect specific circumstances on a day that's obviously very traumatic, you know that you have to be able to do that. You've got to have a better recollection. And like I said, they think you did it. You may have. I don't think so, but you very well may have. But they're going to do their job, whatever that may be. I know you. They asked me to come over here and talk to you. I watched you. I hadn't said a word. You know I don't yell, and I don't scream, and I don't do any of that stuff. But I'm going to tell you that I believe that you didn't do anything to her. But something's happened. Something's going on. And you better get right with whatever that may be.
I understand that, bitch.
So, I mean, if it's, something strange happened, an OD or something like that, and you don't want your kids to see that, everybody can understand that. But you got to come right with it, okay? All right. So think about it.
All right.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Maybe I won't get out of here. I'll have to hang out until they come in. You not working anymore?
No, I haven't worked since all this stuff started going on because I can't afford the daycare with Lee.
All right. I'll go get you one. Let me ask you about this right quick, and then I'll go get you some. And I was half paying attention, but basically, they think you have her phone, and you're saying you don't.
I don't have her.
You don't have. Have you ever had it?
Just when we're at home and we would before.
No, I'm talking about since this time. Have you had her phone at any time?
No.
Because you know that phone stuff is what we do. And so I'm going to tell you that it's going to ping where it pings. I mean, it's going to be where it's at, where these GPS coordinates say it's at. And it's going to say it's at your house at the same time as your phone is. Okay, and then there's a text message with you and this whoever Chachi is about her being asleep.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Well, and obviously she wasn't asleep. Why'd you say that?
I said I did it off of the computer because I wanted to know what they were talking about.
Yeah, well, the problem, I'm going to tell you, and I'll give you this right here. I can tell you it wasn't from the computer. And I mean, I'm being honest with you. I can tell you it's not on the computer because if you would have sent it from your computer, the UTC code, the timestamp, would have been different because it would have been where you're sitting, not where Verizon is on their phone. Okay? So I'm going to tell you, you did not send this text message from a computer. It was sent from a device. And the reason I know that is because of this universal time code. Okay? Can't be sent from the computer because your computer is sitting in the central standard time zone because that's where you're at. You know, it tells you the time where you're at on your computer. Okay? The phone companies use what's the old Greenwich Mean Time, but now it's called Universal Time Code. So looking at what they got from their search warrant, this came from her device.
I didn't send that text message.
Well,
Gonzales accessed both the computer and the phone. As most people realize, messages were able to be traced to individual devices, regardless of whether or not they use a mutual service.
Then,
I mean, I know what that says.
You said she was asleep, and you said, hey, you knew she got a text.
Yeah, through the computer.
No, you didn't, because look, I'm telling you, it came through her device. You saw her phone. You saw this message on her phone. So, man, I can't get you past that. I mean, I'll take up for you all I can, but I can't get you past that.
I understand.
And so I know you had her phone. And that's not helping you. You're probably making this a whole lot worse. It's bad. Don't get me wrong. Not for you, but I'm talking about the situation. You're probably making it a whole lot worse Then if you just told what happened.
Nothing happened
Okay.
between me and Kat.
I didn't say it did between you and her, but the situation happened. Something happened that you ended up with her phone and texting back and forth with people. That, whether it may be completely righteous, that doesn't look good. And now that you've lied about it, you've got to get in front of it. Because this, I'm going to tell you, I'm a nuts and bolts dude, and you cannot, like I said, I believe you. I believe you didn't do anything. But you can't get past this is black and white. And so I know you used her phone. I mean, like I said, you do what you think you need to do, but you used her phone. And I know you're pissed off at the way they treated you and the way the cops acted towards you. I understand all that. But you're not going to get past this. It's not getting passable. You can say whatever you want to say, and they'll either believe you or you don't. But this, you cannot get past it.
I don't know, Mitch. But I know I didn't do anything to my wife, man, and Rosie's just adamant.
And that's fine. You tell me what happened.
Nothing happened.
Okay, nothing happened between you. You keep saying that, and I believe you.
And I didn't get home and find Kathy dead or anything like that.
Okay, then what happened? You know she just didn't run off. Come on, dude. Y'all had troubles before. You told y'all separated 7 years ago. You've been together, what, 12, 14 years?
Like 19,
Yeah,
almost 20.
19, 20 years. There's bumps in the road, and she may have been going on her way. But you know things don't end like that. This is not TV, just like you said. It's not a movie. I can't tell you everything I did. But you know it also don't end like a movie. You got to tell, because you got an idea. You may not have done anything. And again, I'm going to tell you, sit right here and tell you 100% the truth. I don't believe you did anything to her. And I'm looking you man to man, eye to eye. But you better be able to figure out this situation. Because you're not going to get past this.
Okay, but with this, but what am I supposed to figure out, Mitch? I didn't do nothing to Kat. I don't know where she went.
Then why did you have her phone?
I didn't have her phone.
Spider, man, there's no way. You can't get past this. You had her phone. And it may have been because she left her phone. I don't know. And I don't really care. But you're not going to be able to get past this. Because these text messages from you to him and from her to him are too close. The phones are at the same location when the message was sent.
Regardless, Mitch, if I tell you I had her phone or I don't tell you I have her phone.
I know, you didn't do anything to her. I got you.
But still, that's not what I'm getting at. Rosie's going to put me in jail today regardless.
Oh, I don't think so, but I don't know anything about that. But what I'm saying is, you're not going to get past this. And you know I'm going to straight up shoot with you. I mean, that's just all it is. You had her phone. For whatever reason you had her phone, I don't know. And nobody will know unless you tell them. They may believe you and they may not. But at least you're going to tell your side of the story. Because right now, your side of the story ain't getting told. They're only going on what they got and what they believe. And that ain't helping you.
And Rosie believes I did something to Kat.
Yeah, she does. She does. Now again, I truthfully do not believe you did anything to her. But I believe there's some situation that happened that caused you to have her phone and caused you to try to cover up something.
I didn't cover up anything.
Well, I'm talking about cover up her not being there or whatever because you said she's asleep. And I'm not talking about covering up a crime. That has nothing to do with it.
Can I get something to drink?
Oh, yes. What would you rather? Is it Coke or?
Yeah, Coke.
It's fine. I'm done.
And Christmas cans still.
Like I said, dude, I'll get you past a bunch of this, but I can't get you past having her phone. unless you tell them why you have her phone and where the hell the phone is.
I don't know where the phone's at, Mitch.
Okay, where was it the last time you saw it?
When she had it on the 11th.
Dude, this text message is on the 13th. Okay, and I mean I'm all with you, except you're not going to get past this. I'm sorry, it just is what it is. That's what we do. They don't do so much of that. I do this all the time. These phones, I do it every single day, and I'm telling you, you're not getting past these right here are from your phone and her phone. They're close in proximity, and based on the GPS coordinates, they're at the same place. I can't get you past it. So you better come up with a reasonable explanation of why that happens. I mean, I can show you the science of it. I can show you the.
I don't need to see all that.
I mean, you probably know more about it than I do.
Nah, I don't know nothing about all that. Where's Rosie? I need to ask her if I need to call my friend.
Well, she's mad at you. I mean, you're mad at her. She thinks you're mad at her.
Right, I'm mad at her. She's been treating me like fucking crap since day one and lying to me.
But think about it. You put yourself in this situation. And I don't know all the facts, so don't get me. I'm not even going to talk about them because I don't know all the facts. But whatever the facts they got, they believe something happened. And they believe you had something to do with it. So if you were over here and you believe something happened, what would you be doing?
I'd be trying to
the
get
same
someone to tell me
thing.
the truth. Yeah.
Same thing. So, but you can't take it personal, and I realize that's not possible. I got you. It's not possible. I realize, but you can't take it personal that everybody's got their own beliefs. You have your own beliefs.
She's had it like that since day one when fucking Kathy's dad told her what he told her because that man ain't ever like, you can't milk a fucking cow that ain't for milking. You know,
yeah,
ain't got
I got you.
You know? And she's adamant that I did something to Kat and I didn't, man.
Gonzales acts as if he is being persecuted, but all other suspects were eliminated before the investigation focused on him, when usually the spouse is the first person to be heavily investigated. Other than Gonzales, the only people who may have been interested in harming her were her two lovers. However, neither knew about the other, and their alibis matched the information on their phones.
Okay, that's great.
We've been through way worse things than that, Mitch, and I didn't. Never. And so what if she was telling people she was done with me? That's been said before, too, and we stayed together.
Oh, exactly. It happens every day. I mean, it happens every day. Probably multiple times. And like I said, I believe you didn't do anything to her. But I can't get you past some of the hard evidence that they're going to use, unless they got a better explanation, they're going to use to make you look bad. Unless you got a better explanation. I mean, I went and looked at the actual return from Verizon. Okay. I looked at both phones' cell phone coordinates, the timestamp between the text that was happened before and the text, because obviously I knew when she texted you at some point and you text her, you weren't at the same place. When she says, I'm at work, and I checked the universal timestamp on that to where it shows it's coming from to your house, to your work at Potbelly or whatever that is, and they're in different places. So it shows. So when these two are this close together, but both phones are in the same place, then that's bought and paid for. I can't fix it and I can't change it. That is what it is. So, all I can tell you is this is going to look real bad unless you have an explanation of why it happened. A reasonable explanation of why it happened. And I can tell you, and you know it as well as I do, for whatever reason, she may have been gone. but you're texting on her phone. And I don't blame you. I'd have been trying to find out what was going on too.
Look, Mitch, I'm going to tell you this, but I know it's just going to lead to something else. So,
okay,
you know, it's good. She's going to be, and I know they're listening. Whoever,
oh yeah, you know that.
Seeing that he isn't going to get away with denying everything, Gonzales decided to alter his story.
It's going to lead to, okay, well, if you're lying about this, then what else are you fucking lying about?
That's right. It will, hang on, it will. Except at least you will have a voice in this. Because right now, you do not have a voice in this.
Okay, look, the day she gave me the phone,
okay,
I took off with it.
all right,
When I left to go pay Brian and pick up the boys, I left with the phone and wouldn't give it back to her and left the house.
okay.
So when we got back and she was gone, I figured either she went to her dad's or Carmel picked her up.
So you're saying that she had her phone. When she showed you the text messages, you took it.
Yeah, I took the phone and left.
I would have too. So you left, but once you come back, she's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, where's the phone?
I had it.
No, but where is it at now?
It's probably in the house somewhere. Lee's been playing with it because it has games on it.
Okay. You need to get that and let them have it. Because then you can at least, they can look at it and see that there's not a bunch of other bad shit going on it. And you have your voice in it. Okay? So, like I said, and you know as well as I do, yeah, it'll come up. Well, if you lied about that, what else you lied about? I'm going to tell you, I don't believe you did anything. But just like I told you, you're going to have to man up at some point. If there is something, I'm not talking about you doing anything criminal. But if for people get messed up in the brain and you think, man, I'm going to get in trouble with the kids, I'm going to lose my kids, all that stuff can happen. And if I move and take this, maybe she went out and she committed suicide or whatever. Or you found her that way and you moved her.
Now I'm not talking smack about my wife. That's a big girl, Mitch. I got a bad back. I can't pick up a lot of stuff.
All right.
You know, there's if something like that had happened, there's no way I could have picked her up by myself.
Okay. Did anybody help you?
No.
Okay. Well, there you go. See, now you got some stuff that you can try to work. What do you think happened?
Honestly, it's like I told Rosie yesterday when I was letting her see my phone about the suicide stuff. Here lately, Kat, she's gone through a lot of changes, Mitch. She won't talk to me. She'll tell her friends all kinds of stuff like this shit. If something happens to me, it wasn't an accident, it was Juan. But I don't believe that for 1 minute.
I don't know that anybody said that.
You know,
I mean, obviously, I don't have any personal knowledge.
You know, and I'm not saying Rosie's lying, but I know how this. She already lied to me several times in the past week and a half. What else would she fucking lie about just to try to get? You know the game. I've lied to people before to get them to tell the fucking truth. Mm-hmm. She ain't getting nothing out of me because there ain't nothing to tell like that. Okay. You know, the only thing she was upset with herself even before that day. You could tell. Because Carmel even told me when she came to the house the other night after she came up here and got questioned that, you know, Kathy had told me that, you know, maybe she should break it off with both of these guys and just work things out with you. That it really wasn't you here lately. It was her. And that she was finding, you know, little excuses here and there just to be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and leave them and do what Kathy wanted to live her own life already. So I don't know, like.
How old are you?
44.
How old is she?
41.
Okay.
Like I told her before that day too, you know, you waited till you were over 40 to do all this crap. Why did you do it when I was doing it? You know?
So again, what do you think happened?
I think she just left, Mitch. Now,
if she just left, where would she have went?
I don't know, Mitch. If she left, I just hope she didn't do anything to herself because she was upset with herself, you know. And
well, that's why we need to work hard to find her. Hopefully alive.
It's just like I asked Rose the other day, you know, we want to put together, some people to look for Kat. Well, where are you going to look? If I knew where she'd be at, we'd be looking too.
Again, people have personality conflicts, okay? She's doing her job. You're trying to take care of your family. There's always a conflict, okay? It happens that way. Not that, I mean, in different circumstances, it may not be like that. But that's how it is. She's doing her job, and you're trying to protect your family. I get it. So nobody's going to hold that against you. So, like I said, if you think she's done something to herself, where would she have went?
It's like I told Rosie last week, she's been so secretive here lately, I don't know.
And how would she have gotten there? And how would she have told somebody to come get her? I mean, think about those things and tell me. Maybe you may have a lot better idea about it than we do.
I don't know, Mitch. I don't know.
I'm going to ask you. I'm going to look. I want you to look me right in the eye. And I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Did you do anything to your wife?
No, sir, okay. I didn't.
If you didn't, did you find her when she had done something to herself?
No. I don't. And if she had done something to herself, I don't believe she would have done it right there in the house for us to find her. She knew I was going to get the kids. Why would she want the kids to see something like that?
Okay. So after she's gone, and she's left before and walked around or gone wherever, and she shows back up in a certain amount of time, at some point you start wondering, well, obviously all this stuff about you calling her and texting her, why were you doing that?
Because I wanted to see where she was at. Or
the problem is you had her phone.
I know. But I was texting these people because I wanted it to be like, okay, well, Kat, you're here with us. Who's got your phone?
Okay. So you were texting people acting like you were her,
mm-hmm.
to try to get people to say, who the hell is this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. To see if you could figure out where she was at.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody in particular that you had an idea that she might go to?
Just those 2 guys that she was fooling around with in Carmel.
Who's Carmel?
Carmel Wynn. Her sisters are, I guess it's her sister, yeah. Crystal's married to Dimitri, a police officer, black guy.
Yeah.
Here. Anyway, it's her best friend. It's supposed to be her best friend.
Okay. So you thought, but you've talked to her since. So obviously she doesn't know where she's at, or you don't believe she knows where she's at.
No, she just told me. I don't believe anything that comes out of that girl's mouth.
Okay, she just told you she didn't know where she was at. Let me ask you this. If you had to make an assumption, what would you think, where would she go?
Dallas. She's got a lot of family in Dallas.
How would she got there? Do you have any idea?
I don't know, Mitch.
She don't have any money, right?
She had money on her when she left that she had gotten from her father.
How much?
I know it was at least $500.
Okay.
That's why she left me the bank cards.
Okay, so she had some cash. So maybe she went to Dallas. Okay. Now they asked you a couple of deals about blood in the car. You don't have any idea.
Mm-mm. I don't know nothing about that. I know this, that we had a bunch of prepaid phones that, remember Steve?
Mm-hmm.
He had given me back when we were doing that DEA work, the prepaid phones. I know a couple of those phones are missing from the drawer that they were in. Maybe
do they still work?
All you got to do is
activate them.
Activate them. You know, and she knew those phones were there when I took her phone from her.
Okay.
You know, but
so you really think that she may have ran off somewhere?
I think she left Mitch. Mitch, my son, my 13-year-old, y'all can bring him and talk to him and ask him however you need to. He has been upset here lately because Kat won't spend time with them anymore. When she's off of work, she makes sure Lee goes to daycare. Lord forbid if Nate says, like today, he stayed home because his teeth are hurting from, his braces being removed. Lord forbid if Nate's got a fever, because she's going to check it till 7:59 the next morning to make sure he goes to school so she don't have to be at home with nobody.
And that's just recent, right?
Yeah, the past 3 months since,
It didn't happen that way before that.
Lujan's attitude had only changed toward Gonzales. She had never had any intention of distancing herself from her sons or abandoning them.
Nathan will tell you, man, Dad, when Mom's home, how come she don't want to do nothing with us? She don't cook for us.
Are they both her children?
Yeah.
With you?
No, Nate, I've been raising him since he was 2 months.
But he's her with somebody else?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Leon Lujan, you might have known.
Okay, but the other
one is mine and hers.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, and don't want to do nothing with the shit. When she's here, all she wants to do is be in the room playing the Kindle Dad, you know, and watching People's Court, you know, and Nathan's been real upset about that. And all I tell Nate, hey, Nate, Mom's going, you know, because he's old enough to understand. He heard me and Mom talking one day. He says, Dad, Mom's cheating on you. What's wrong with her? You know, and I'd be like, Nate, just, Mom's going through some things. People go through things sometimes. I said, your daddy did it to your mom too, you know, and because he heard his mom say, he asked me, what does a resentment mean? I said, it's when you stay mad at somebody about something for a real long time, you know, because he heard his mom say, my problem with you, babe. She was talking to me. It was a week after I got baptized at church on Easter Sunday. She says, my problem with you is that I live in your past. And she told Carmel, I'm using his past as an excuse for me to do what I'm doing. Honestly, I don't think anything's happened to Kat.
Think she'll eventually show back up.
Yep. Her mom did it to her dad. Bruce will tell you that. For months, back when me and Kathy were first together, he was going crazy, looking for her, because she just got up and left one day. She just got up.
But she can't make it without her family, right? Is there any way she could survive 10 or 11 days? Because she can't do it on $500. Unless she's got somebody she's staying with. Or...
I don't know. Like I say, Mitch, I don't know. Here lately, I don't know nothing about Kat.
And try to think of something, I mean, who she might be with. Or, I mean, when you think about this. The other thing is, you're going to have to get that phone to them. And the second thing is you earlier claimed you used your computer to try to get into this because there's a password on it.
Well, honestly, now I can't get in the computer. Here recently, somebody changed the password to that Verizon account. The only person that could have done that was Kat. That's why I say I don't believe.
When was it changed? And it tells you that on your computer.
No, I know because when I went to log in with the passwords that we had, it wouldn't let me. It said it was invalid.
Okay, previous to that, when had you been able to log in?
Ooh, like a month ago.
Okay. So it could have been changed any time from a month ago back. All right.
No, because a couple of weeks ago I was on there.
Okay, so is it a what kind of, is it a laptop computer? It's a standalone computer.
Tower, yeah.
That you said you logged on and initially said you were texting. Have you sent any text from that computer?
No, not recently. I did it like some months back because I couldn't find my phone.
Okay. Would you have a problem with them doing a forensic check on that computer?
No, they can take it. I've been cooperative with them since day one, Mitch.
Okay.
Since day one, you know?
Aside from a few important lies, Gonzales has done everything he can to play the part of a concerned husband. He has given the detectives information, some of which was personally damaging, and he willingly handed over his electronics. If this murder had happened when technology was less sophisticated, there's a reasonable chance he would have gotten away with killing Lujan.
All right, let me go talk to them.
I just know that the passwords on that Verizon account are changed because I wanted to get on there. It was sometime this past week. I got on there to see how much our bill was, you know, to see what I could do about paying it because I haven't been working since this has been going on. And the username and password that I put in, it said it was invalid. And the only person that would have or could have changed that is Kat. Now, when she did it, I don't know.
Okay. Now, here's the deal. Rosie may come in here and talk to you again.
I don't want to talk to that lady no more.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Then you don't have to. But here's the deal. I don't know who's going to, because I guess they picked you up, right? So they're going to send, I assume, you need to go get them the phone and you need to get them that computer. And then you need to think and figure out how to help find out where the hell she's at. I know, but might be able
I'm not trying to get out of it. I know, and I've been trying. I've been going to my friend Rhonda's trying to figure.
Who's Rhonda?
Oh, she used to be my manager in the music. Here, I'll show her to you real quick.
Where she live?
She lives way out in the, you know where the Walmart is right here on the west side?
Uh-huh.
If you, you know where High Sky Ranch is at?
Oh, yeah.
She lives out there past High Sky Ranch where the new rigs are at. We've been going out there because she's always been a real good friend of the family. She's even told me, man, Juan, I've been around you for years when I managed you in the music. She says, I don't believe you did anything to Kat. Her brother told me that.
Is she, is somebody helping you with kids?
She'll help me. Like I told her yesterday, I said, when I had to come up here, if I need you to keep the kids, because I don't want the family to take, the family won't even talk to me, just Paul. So I don't trust them with my boys for them to take them and not let me have them back, you know? Okay. And so she's there for us right now. Okay. Like the past couple of nights we've gone over there, she's cooked dinner for the boys, you know, done stuff.
So when you get them out of school, whatever.
Okay. Like the past couple of nights we've gone over there, she's cooked dinner for the boys, you know, done stuff.
So when you get them out of school, whatever, you have them the whole time, right? You're with them
all the time. Kat's always at work.
No, I'm talking about since.
Yeah.
Since. So if you go somewhere, they're with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go to eat or you go wherever, they're going with you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, I'll leave them at the house. What's today, Tuesday? I'll leave them at the house like Sunday when I ran up the street to HEB. I just recently got banned from both HEBs that day. So, let me see if I can. This is her right here.
She used to be your band manager or something?
Yeah, my hip-hop manager. That lady right there.
On the left?
Yeah. That's her right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
She married or?
Yeah, she's married to John. I can't even say.
So you go up with them and eat dinner with their family?
Yeah, the past couple of days. When she found out what was going on the news, she called me like that. Was like, Juan, what the fuck's going on? You know, and.
Okay. All right. Well, let me go check on this, and I'll get another detective. Somebody, I don't know who brought you up here. So
Melendez or Mendez, something like that.
Well, hang on just 1 second. You need another drink? Are you good?
Yeah, I'll take another one.
Okay.
Hey, Juan. The reason I was here, I got a letter from you saying you want to talk to me. Yeah, so I'm here to talk to you.
I just wanted to know if y'all know anything yet, because I haven't been able to talk to anybody.
Okay. Well, before we get started to talk, because you're not free to go or anything, you are in custody. I have to advise you of your rights, okay? You have the right to remain silent and not make any statement at all. Any statement you make may be used against you at the trial. Do you understand? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Any statement you make may be used as evidence against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to have a lawyer present to advise you prior to and during any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you're unable to employ a lawyer, you have the right to have a lawyer appointed to advise you prior to and during any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have the right to stop or terminate the interview at any time. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you willing to talk to me about Kathy? I know you're the one that requested to speak to me in regards to Kathy. So, what did you want to talk to me about her?
I just wanted to know if y'all found anything out.
Yeah, we found some stuff in the investigation, yes. Stuff that I need to get cleared with you because there's some discrepancies of what you told me than what I'm finding out. Are you willing to talk to me and try to get that discrepancies cleared up?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go over what you told me from the beginning, from that morning. Tell me what time she left again.
She left for work at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Well, before 2 o'clock, she has to be at work at 2.
Okay. And she left in what vehicle?
The black car.
The black car. And then between her and you, I know that you say you get up at 6. And I know that you told me that you, when she leaves, you can't sleep very well, that you toss and turn, and you basically wake up every 30 minutes to an hour. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. And after she left, did y'all ever talk on the phone?
I don't remember.
Okay. Y'all did text.
Yeah.
And the text was in reference to what?
The money.
The money. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because the money was gone from her purse. Mm-hmm. And that's the $180, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Did y'all also text about her coming to pick up the kids, or was it just the money?
No, the kids. Okay. She wanted to know if she needed to be there by 6:45 to pick them up.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And the reason she had to be there at 6:45 is because she takes Lee Adrian to the daycare, and then somehow, somewhere, either Nathan walks to the school, or she takes him, or he takes the bus, but he ends up going to school. When you did, at 6 o'clock, you woke up, and then from there, you went, she gets home at 6:45, give or take, and she's going to take Lee Adrian. You leave. Where did you go to?
I went to work.
Okay, and that's Potbelly. Are you sure you worked that day, or do you just show up at work?
No, I worked.
Okay.
I mean, you can prove that I
Yeah,
worked.
Potbelly's telling me you didn't work that day. Their records are. That's why I'm trying to get to clarify.
It's because they never had me a time card. They were writing my time down
Yes.
that I was working, and that was the last day that I worked there.
Okay, because I know their stuff that they're giving me and what they're telling me, saying that you did not work that day and that you weren't on the sheet saying you were supposed to work that day.
I was never in the computer. They never got me a time card for the time that you're supposed to have a card to clock into the computer. They never had one, so they had me writing it down on pieces of paper and taping it to the computer, the face of the computer, the monitor.
Okay. So then it might be an error on them saying that you weren't at work. Yes?
That's, I would say so.
Okay, but you definitely did work on that Wednesday. Okay, and you get there at 7 o'clock in the morning, up to what time?
I was off before 1 or 1 at the latest.
Okay, you left. From there, and I'm going to believe that you did go to work. I don't have a problem with that. It's just Potbelly's telling me you didn't. But I know, because remember I told you I did a search on your phone, so I know that you were at Potbelly.
Everything that happened that day in the period leading up to the murder was typical of Gonzales's usual schedule. He hadn't planned her death beforehand, so everything linking him to the crime occurred when he was trying to cover up the murder and the disposal of the body.
So, but they were also telling me that you show up sometimes just to go up there and BS with the guys and talk, even though you didn't work. Could that be something that happened?
That didn't happen that day. I had only done that once. I
Okay.
had only done that once, and Kathy knew about that. It was on might have been a few nights before that day. It was during the evening time.
Okay. So for sure, 7 a.m. to before 1 o'clock, you were at Potbelly. When you left Potbelly, where did you go?
I went to see Skipper.
Okay. And then from there, where did you go?
I went to the house.
Okay. Tell me about the pawn shop.
I went to the pawn shop that day.
Yes.
I don't remember going to the pawn shop. I mean, I go to the pawn shop a lot.
Okay. That particular day, you went at 12:12 p.m. at the pawn shop.
12.
Yeah, you pawned an instrument.
Oh, yeah, trombone.
Do you remember that? Okay, that's that same day, that Wednesday. So did you go to Skipper's before or after the Cash America?
Had it been before.
Okay, so Cash America or then Skipper or then the Cash America?
Cash America, then Skipper.
Okay. Anywhere else did you go?
I can't remember. It's been over a month ago. I can't remember.
Well, that's a day that you're going to remember because that's a very significant day.
I don't remember.
Okay. So, Skipper, and then about what time did you think you got to the house?
I know it was after 1.
Okay. And then what happened there at the house?
What I told you, me and Kat had our talk, and then I left to get Lee Adrian.
And Kathy was still there. And you left at 3:30, let's say, because you had to pick up Lee Adrian at the daycare.
I was thinking about the other day. I know that me and Lee Adrian went to Church's Chicken that day too. So if you pinged my cell phone, it would show me at Church's Chicken after I picked up Lee Adrian that day.
Okay.
And later on, we went and picked up Nate.
Okay. And then from there, went home. And when you got home, you saw Kathy's car outside, and you saw Kathy not being there.
Well, no, I went to the bank too that day, but I was in the car.
When did you go to the bank?
I don't remember if it was before I picked up Lee and Nate or after, and they were at the house. I don't remember.
Okay. Which bank did you go to? Somewhere in between there you saw Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you went to the house, had your conversation with Kathy. You said you left about 3:40 or 3:30, I'm sorry, to go see and pick up Lee Adrian. But I know for a fact that you went around 2 o'clock before you picked up Lee Adrian. And then you went to Tobacco Alley. And you paid Brian. Then you went to Cash America.
I don't remember if it was in that order, Rosie.
Well, I'm telling you that's the order. Now, how much money did you withdraw?
200 or 300.
Okay. And then what did you do with that money?
I paid Brian.
Okay, how much did you pay Brian?
It was $190. He gave me $10 back.
Okay, and then from there, how much money did you get there?
I didn't get any.
You got money?
No, it wouldn't let me pull any out.
Yeah, it did, because I had the transaction.
No, it told me that there was insufficient funds when I put in the PIN number.
No, you got money. It withdrew money.
I remember, Rosie? I remember saying it had insufficient funds.
You pulled out, it's either 200 or 300, I can't remember which one it is, from that one.
That, I'd have to say no, because I remember if maybe there was money, because usually that one didn't have any money because she would transfer money. That day that it said the transaction couldn't be complete because of insufficient funds. The Chick-fil-A on Wall Street.
Garfield and Wall Street. Mm-hmm. Well, that transaction on paper is telling me that you withdrew 200 or 300. I don't remember which one it is, but that you withdrew money. Okay, what happened to the rest of the money? If it was like $200, $300, I believe it was $300. You know what happened to the rest of the money?
I bought food at H-E-B.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So when you came back home after you picked up Nathan from school, Alamo, there's nobody there. I know that you had told me that she had taken her purse and she had taken her phone with her. Now we know that you had her phone. So just explain to me about what happened. Just tell me why you lied about the phone.
Honestly, I did. I took it because I was mad because of what was going on.
Okay.
And I wanted to see who she had been texting. So when I left that day when her and I were talking, I took the phone from her. And I told her, look, if you get your ride, whoever this Fulio is you're messing with, then tell him to come get you. Because I remember reading the text in that phone too, where that guy, one of those guys, an unknown name, was ready to come to the house and take me out of the house.
Later that night, because she hadn't responded to him. But he was checking up on her. At what point did she tell you she was done with you?
She never told me that to my face. She never told me she was done with me. She was telling other people that, but she never told me that. She never told me that to my face, Rosie. Never. We never argued like that. Never. She never told me that.
Okay. When you left and you came back, she's gone. You have the phone. Oh, then what happened?
That was it. I continued to text those two guys to see what the heck was going on.
Mm-hmm. Pretending to be her to see if you can get more information?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of information were you trying to get from them?
I don't know. I just wanted to see what the hell was going on.
But you already knew at that point because she showed you the phone, or did she not show you the phone? You just took it and looked through it and found the stuff?
No, I couldn't go through the phone like that because it had a code on it.
Okay, well, do you know what the code was?
Nope. What I did was When we got back and she wasn't there, I kept going through the face of the screen. It would say like 25 more times the phone will reactivate. You know, I did it the whole time until the phone shut down, reactivated, and then I was able to get into the phone.
Okay. So, did you read the messages because she showed them to you, or because you took the phone away from her?
No, it started with her showing them to me.
Okay.
Because she was real smart aleck about it, like, you know, here, you want to know? Here. You know, that's the attitude she had had for a while already.
That was the moment when the fight turned physical. The pair began to struggle in the kitchen, and Gonzales was able to sit on top of Lujan while he strangled her.
Then from there, once you took the phone, you started going through it, and you started texting them. You said you were, if I remember correctly, you told Detective or Sergeant Russell that you were trying to find her through using her phone to see if she was with someone.
Mm-hmm.
But so when you were texting these guys, you knew that she wasn't with them.
Yeah.
Okay. You text her dad.
Yeah.
And you would talk to him later or something, because he had called, and then you text and say to him that you were busy.
Because he knew too. I mean, I don't know, Rosie. I was upset, you know. So I was going through the phone to see who knew what, and you know how many people she was messing around with. You know, that wasn't Kathy. Kathy never did stuff like that. So I was upset about it.
But she's not going to be messing around with her dad. But you text them
No, but her dad always knew what Kathy was doing. He made that real clear to me on the phone after we filed the missing persons report. He thought the shit was funny.
Okay. And Chachi, tell me about Chachi. When you started pretending to be her, saying that she was at the house taking a nap.
It was the same thing, because Chachi was one of those kinds of people. If I was to drop off the face of the earth today, he'd be over there trying to screw with Kat. That's the type of person Chachi is.
But that's not what Chachi was doing.
I know. I just wanted to see what he would text back.
And all he wanted was to get a job for his nephew. So you said, I remember last time you said you never talked to Chachi about the gun, but I have text messages where you talked to Chachi about the gun.
But what about the gun? All we talked about the gun was who took it.
Yeah, and everyone's saying you took it.
Everybody's saying that now, Rosie, because they think I did something to Kat. That's just how the world works, drama.
At this point in the investigation, the detectives weren't aware of the cause of death, and they were very interested in the conversations relating to a gun. It turned out to be meaningless because Gonzales did not use a weapon.
I never took a damn gun.
But you were willing to pay for it.
Yeah, because I'm on paper, and if the police showed up at my house asking me about a gun, I could go to jail for that because I'm on federal paper. That
If you didn't take the gun, why would you be willing to pay for it?
That's not exactly what was said. I told Chachi that night on the phone when they called me, I said, we need to do something about this because I cannot go to jail for this because I'm on federal paper. If I get questioned by the police, I can go to jail for it because I'm not even supposed to be around stuff like that. That's not... It wasn't just said that I would pay for the gun. I told Chachi him and I needed to come up with some way to get that back to David.
Okay. Now, what we need to get clear up is Damien, Deontay, and get all those, and Clay, which Clay is going to be skipper. Get them cleared.
Who's Deontay?
Miss Rose. You
Oh.
have her as Miss Rose. What's your relationship with them?
Just friends.
What are you getting from them?
I've gotten pills from them.
Okay. They're just to help you out, because I know you say you have a back problems and you have leg problems. And you're not on medication anymore because you don't have a doctor. Are they just helping you out?
That's it. That's it. It ain't like we're...
And Chachi also, or not Chachi, I'm sorry, David Lopez also was helping you out?
Oh, David from Chachi's house? Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like we were pushing all kinds of pills and selling them and stuff like that.
No, I didn't say that, no. I think they were giving you some and selling you some. Because I know them, they're not the type of people that, they may give you one or two, but they're not going to always give it to you. They're going to ask you for some money for them. How much were they asking you for it?
They weren't asking me for any money, Rosie. It wasn't like that.
David wanted you to be paying him. What did David wanted you to pay him?
That was because he had loaned me some money. It wasn't about pills. I wasn't buying pills like that.
Okay.
And Miss Rose, she don't have a car, so she might call me, you know, hey, can you take me to the pharmacy? I'll give you some pills. She'd give me 10 or 15 just to take her to the pharmacy.
Okay. But she don't charge you or anything like that?
Skip her the same way. Don't have a ride. Can you take me to the doctor? Can you take me to see my friend at dialysis? You know, stuff like that. Can you drop? There was a building next to dialysis where he cuts grass. He wouldn't have a ride to see his boss. His boss wouldn't pick him up, or whatever the situation was. Take him. He'd give me some.
And what kind of pain pills were they giving you?
Tramadol.
All of them? Now, you knew that night I took Kathy's car, brought it back to you, and then I took the Toyota. There was blood in the Toyota. Do you know whose blood that is? It's Kathy's. You and I both knew that blood was going to be Kathy's.
Lujan was already dead by the time Gonzales loaded her into the car. The blood came from a head wound she received during their struggle.
So what did I do with Kat then, if I know that was her blood?
That's why I'm here to find out. Kathy was using you, I'll tell you that. She didn't want you. All she cared about was going to work, and all she cared about is you stay at the house and take care of the kids. And she wanted separate lives.
Oh,
she was always mad at you. For anything, she would get mad at you. The checks. Even if you saw it as writing a check, she saw it as a forgery. She saw it as filing charges against you, and she told you that.
Like I told you a month ago, Rosie, that don't mean I killed Kat or did anything to her. Anybody could have gone to that house. Anybody. And how her blood got in that truck, I don't know.
But not anybody went to the house.
You don't know that. You can sit there and tell me you pinged my phone all over fucking town. And these other guys, how do I know they've never been in my house from the text? You don't know that.
I pinged their phones also.
That doesn't mean anything, Rosie. Anybody could leave their phone anywhere and do anything.
Is that what you did?
Nope. And when the minute that came out my mouth, I knew that's what you would say. Because well, you want me to tell you that I did something to Kathy?
Because you did do something to Kathy.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Just like I told my manager, I should have had y'all take pictures that day when you had me strip searching the bathroom for Officer Dominguez. Kat wasn't no punk. If me and Kat had got into a fight, trust me, y'all would have known it. Because it happened years before, way back.
But that particular day, you did something to Kathy. And there's no doubt that you did something to her.
I didn't do anything to her, Rosie.
She's not going to leave all her belongings. She's not going to leave her clothes. She's not going to leave her driver's license. She's not going to leave her social security, her checks, her credit cards, her debit card behind. She's not going to leave that. She's not, her phone, she has nowhere to go. She was there.
I don't know, Rosie. As far as that, I didn't do anything to Kat. We've been through way worse stuff than that. Anybody that knows us.
This time it was worse than ever because she was done with you. She was kicking you out of the house.
She wasn't kicking me out. That never came out of her mouth. And if it had, I didn't know about it. She must have told somebody else. She never told me anything like that. And if it was like that, if she wanted me gone that bad, she knew at any time she could go to her dad's.
You were out, not her, out of the house.
What I'm saying is, if she wanted me out, she knows I ain't got anywhere to go. She would have gone to her dad's.
She let you stay there for that reason. because you had nowhere to go. And she needed you to take care of the kids, so when she goes at 2 o'clock in the morning to work, the kids wouldn't be by themselves.
Oh, because she was here lately. She had never been around for the kids.
Everyone says different.
No, everyone did.
I know. Now, I'm not saying you're a bad father, because you've always been there for them, but she was the provider. So she's always been for the kids, because she's always been the provider. Then do you have an explanation of why her blood is in the vehicle?
Mm-hmm. I don't.
Would your blood be anywhere in that vehicle?
No.
Have you ever bled inside the vehicle?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to find out if some of that blood is yours.
Find out. I've never bled in that vehicle.
Never bled ever.
Mm-mm. How would I have bled when y'all checked me that day? I don't have any cuts or anything on me. My nose doesn't bleed. That night when you came to the house, y'all think people are freaking stupid. So did you tell me someone had a nosebleed? I never told you that. You were trying to get something out of me that isn't there. I've never bled in that truck.
You're the one that brought up the nosebleed, because you're the one that told me that Lee Adrian had a nosebleed.
I never told you that, Rosie. That night y'all came with the search warrant and y'all were handcuffing me from the truck. We were standing there and you were like, did you tell me about a nose? It was after you asked me about the garage door, if it opens manually or automatic, whatever. Mm-hmm. And you said, did you tell me someone had a nosebleed? And I said, no. And you were like, who told me that? Maybe it was some. I never told you that, Rosie. I never told you Lee Adrian had a nosebleed. Never.
So you would never have a nosebleed or anything inside that vehicle?
Mm-mm. Nathan's had a nosebleed, but not in that truck, in the house, and here recently. And he'll tell you that. Y'all talk to Nathan, they tell you he gets them pretty frequent this time of the year. But from what I remember, he's never had one in the truck.
Well, I mean, I know you did something to Kathy, and what we're trying to do is get some closure and get her back home.
Rosie, I didn't do anything to Kat. Like I told you, we've been through way worse stuff than that. Way worse stuff. And her wanting me gone out, she never told me that. She never told me that. She told other people that from what you're telling me.
She told other people, I guess, that's what she told you?
She never told me that, Rosie. She never told me that.
Ever said that y'all were going to have separate lives?
Mm-mm.
And she was going to let you stay there because you had nowhere else to go?
She never told me that. She never told me that. All she told me was that she wanted to fix what I was doing so that we could work on us.
And what is she wanted to fix?
Me. Because for years we worked at the cookie store, and she wound up going to HB. I wound up losing my job, so then I was going back and forth from landscaping jobs to trying to find a real job, landscaping jobs to trying to find, a regular 9 to 5. She wanted me to get something steady again.
That's what she wanted to get fixed.
Until I got off of paper and was able to get on at HEB. Just like Carmel told me, that the night y'all talked to her, she came to the house and said, yeah, I knew that Kat was cheating, that she was upset with herself about it. She said that, should she keep doing what she's doing? She was liking it though, but should she work on y'all, and stay with the person she's been with all her life? Carmel told me that. She told me a bunch of stuff that Kat had told her, but Kat never told me. And Carmel never told me that Kat ever said that she was done with me.
Well, I guess it's common knowledge from everyone but for you.
Yeah, probably everybody from HE
And other people. So at this point, I'm giving you the opportunity. If anything happened to Kathy and you know where she is, this is the time for you to tell us.
I don't have anything to tell you like that, Rosie. I don't. Why do you think I've been putting in all the requests to talk to you?
I only got one. So.
Well, there's a bunch of them. I even put one in yesterday to talk to Mitch. You know? I ain't been able to talk to the kids, nothing. You know? So, I'm just back there wondering.
So what if this afternoon you get filed for murder?
I don't know.
Without enough evidence to charge Gonzales for murder, the police decided to hold him on charges related to the credit cards and hot checks.
I don't know what to say on that.
Because that's what's going to happen.
I don't understand how you can charge me with something I didn't even do.
Listen, she's going to go on what the evidence is, whatever that may be, okay? You know what it is as well as anybody. I mean, I don't know. If it's her DNA in the car, you're not going to be able to come up with a reasonable explanation of that. You started off this whole deal bad by lying to him to begin with. That doesn't look good for you, okay? So whatever it may be, you have those humps that you're going to have to overcome if you didn't do it. But here's the problem, is that you know as well as I do, it's basically a puzzle. And all these pieces are falling against you, not for you. And I don't care what anybody else said about what you and her said to each other, because that, to me, that doesn't make much difference. The bottom line is there's physical evidence and forensic evidence that you're not going to be able to explain. I can't explain it. So if something happened and it wasn't the way they're going to make it seem, if it's not the way that they're going to portray it, you better portray it the way it happened. Because I'm going to tell you, you know how the system works. And you don't have a shot. You know that if you don't come up with some definitive evidence, regardless of what all that stuff says, you don't have a shot. So please, if there's an alternative portrayal of this, then you better provide it. If something off the cuff happens, something bad, something whatever, it is what it is. That's not going to change anything. What's going to change stuff is how people are going to look at you, how prosecutors are going to look at you, and how jurors are going to look at you. If the family and people that are involved in this get some type of closure. Because that's not going to happen. That's not going to stop you from going to prison. Or worse. So please, if there's an alternative to this, tell her. Let's get her found and let's get her back so you can deal with what you need to deal with. Her family can deal with what they need to deal with. Because it's not going to get any better for you unless you make those steps to mitigate have some remorse if something happens. Have some feelings if something happens. There's a lot of things that play into that. But you're not going to get any benefit of that unless you step forward and help her find and tell us where she's at. Then you can start healing yourself. Because it's not going to happen. And it's not going to change the outcome. It'll better the outcome if you step up and do the right thing. But it's not going to change the outcome if you don't. So please, do the right thing. And it is what it is. We're to the end of this. You're fixing to either fall off the mountain or start working your way back up. That's it. That's where we're at. So I'm telling you, as somebody that don't believe you're that bad a guy, you've made some mistakes, but for somebody that really doesn't believe, knowing you as long as I've known you, that you're not that bad a guy, please do the right thing. And let's finish this. All it's doing is stringing out. Don't make that happen anymore. You can stop a lot of the pain. But you gotta man up. Mistakes are made. Fix it. Just tell us where she's at.
I don't know where she's at, Mitch. I don't know where she's at. I don't know where she's
Then
at.
who does?
I don't know, Mitch.
Look at what you're looking at. Look at the evidence. Just look at the evidence.
I don't know what the evidence
I'm
is.
telling you. There's her blood in the car. Your initial lies. And she hasn't turned up. You watch TV. So it's not getting any better for you until we can locate and bring her home. And like I said, don't be the guy, don't be the warrior. This is not the time.
Who am I?
I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying don't be the warrior and say, because we're not talking about a dope case. We're not talking about anything like that. People step up, stand up for their beliefs. This is not the time for that. This is the time for people to heal. You for one. And we better get to it, because it's not going to get any better the longer it goes. It will get better if we can finish this. But like I said, I've known you for a good while. And I know when you're telling the truth and when you're not. And I know it's tough, but you're not telling me the truth. I can see it in your demeanor. I can see it in your eyes. I've talked to you a bunch of times. I talked to you when you told me what was going on and all that stuff, and we helped you out. I looked at you in the eye, and I can tell when you're telling the truth and when you're being deceptive. I understand. It's tough. I got it. But it's going to get tougher if we don't finish this. So just finish this. Like I said, I can tell you're spinning. I can see it.
The only thing I'm spinning about, Mitch, is that I've been back there hurting too.
I know you have.
I can't talk to my kids. I get put in jail on some fucking credit card abuse that this motherfucker knows I paid him. I can prove that by him going to the cookie store and picking up my paychecks. Y'all did this just to keep me where you wanted me when I was never running to begin with.
And that may be true. Okay? It is what it is.
True.
I'm not discounting what you're saying. Very well may be the truth. But it is what it is. You're where you're at. It's not going to get any better until we fix this. And I know you're hurting. I know what kind of guy you are. Okay? I know you're hurting. But there's other people hurting too. And so, be the better man. Be the better person. And fix this. I'm not going to tell you it's going to be easy. Because it's not. But it's sure not going to be easier the other way. It's going to be harder. It's going to be harder on you. It's going to be harder on everybody else. So, and I ain't going to BS you. I'm going to tell you straight up the way it is. And that is the way it is. They are going to do it one way or the other. So be on top of it and get in front of it and help yourself. But help, more importantly, help your kids.
I can't even see my kids or talk to them.
I know you can't. I know you can't. And I can't even, I won't even belittle you by saying I know how you feel, because I don't. But there's one thing for certain that I can tell you, and you ought to know. I am not going to blow smoke at you. So, you need, like I said, be the better person. And please, let's get on with this so that you can see your kids at some point and they can start healing along with you.
I don't understand how y'all can charge me with murder when y'all haven't even found Kathy. How can y'all even prove that she's dead?
Because they have her blood. And it's just one of the laws that
that doesn't mean that she's dead.
Just for this reason. Well, then tell us where to find her.
I don't know. I don't know where she would be at. I don't understand how there's blood in the truck and y'all can just automatically say she's dead. Who knows if she's...
There's a lot of things, other things. Your deceptiveness initially, the phone problem that you had, it's called circumstantial evidence. And it's the same as me watching you do it. Evidence is evidence. And if they can prove the chain of evidence, there's no difference than me watching you do it in a court. Okay? You know that as well as I do. So, but you better have some type, if you did it, you better have some type of remorse. And you better figure out how to fix this. Because like I said, I'm not going to blow at you, but I'm telling you, you know. I can see it.
I don't know if anything bad happened to Cat Mitch. All I know is that she was sleeping with those two guys. That's all I know.
And that sucks. I don't know what I would do in the same circumstances. But, you know what? We're here with you today. And she's not. So, man to man, I'm telling you, you better get in front of this. And then you can get back and come to some semblance of getting your stuff back together.
I'll never get my stuff back together behind this.
You can sure make a better shot at it. There's nothing you can't come back from. It's going to take hard work and some sacrifice. But there's nothing that you can't come back from. But it really, you won't come back from it unless you be the better person. Yeah, you do. I mean, give me a hypothetical. Something. Where did she go? Where would she be? Whether you did something to her or not, where is she?
I don't know where she's at, Mitch. I don't.
Gonzales knows that Lujan's body is still in the oil field where he dumped it. He was hoping that if the body wasn't found, they wouldn't be able to charge him. Now that he knows that isn't true, he isn't sure what he can do to help himself.
I really wish I could believe you. I really do.
I don't know. One day you said you believed me. I knew that was
I did.
a lie.
No, it wasn't a lie. It wasn't a lie. I did believe you. But I'm a reasonable person. And now that I look at all this evidence, there's no other direction. I told him today, I said, there's no way he did it. The day I heard your name, I said, there's absolutely no way he did it. But the evidence says differently.
What, blood in the truck and a phone?
Yeah.
And there's other stuff as well.
There's other things, but what I'm saying is that doesn't look good. And it puts A and B and C, and 2 plus 2 is 4. And like I said, I told him from the day one, he didn't do this. There's something else going on. Or he didn't do it on purpose. And then you told me nothing happened, and I believed you. And then DNA comes back, and that's not the DNA, the phones, the deceptiveness, the witnesses, the chain of events. I mean, I'm a reasonable guy, but the evidence is overwhelming. So, I'm going to tell you, I did believe you before, but right now, I know you're not telling me the truth. I'm 100% absolutely sure you're not telling me the truth. Based on how you acted before, a long time ago, a few weeks ago, and today.
I don't know. It has a lot to do with me just sitting back there wondering.
I'm sure it does.
But I'm not going to sit here and tell you I did something to Kat when I didn't.
Tell me where she's at.
I don't know.
Give me a guess.
All I know is that she wanted to leave the house that day. That's all I know.
Where would she go? I mean,
The only thing
y'all been together forever. Where would she go?
Like I said the first time, either her dad's or now either with one of those guys. But Rosie's saying no.
She's not here.
There's nowhere else I would know. She's got a friend in San Antonio named Letty, but I doubt that.
Well, I'm telling you, it's fixing to get real bad.
To me, it's already bad.
Oh, I understand and agree. But it's going to get worse. On everything you believe in, you're going to tell me that you do not know where she's at.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know. I don't know where she went. I didn't take her anywhere, and I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I can't make you tell me something. I can't make you help me, and I can't make you help yourself. But I'm just telling you, it's not looking good. It does not look good. And I have no doubt with what they have shown me that it's a done deal. The only thing you can do is mitigate it.
The way Mitch talked to me about you, it would be something that wouldn't happen. Like you didn't wake up that morning intentionally. You had all this drawn out plan to kill her. He said, you're not a cold-blooded killer. And if Mitch tells me that, I believe Mitch. And that's what Mitch said, that you're not a cold-blooded killer. If it was something that happened, like an accident, something else, and this is the time for us to know, because this is the time that's going to help you, and we can start understanding what's going on. But if Mitch tells me you're not a cold-blooded killer, then you're not. And that's what he said.
I'm not a killer, period.
Maybe she did something to herself. And you didn't think anybody would believe you. So you tried to make it like she ran off. That's in my mind, when they started talking about it, that's what I believed. It got stressful for her. She did something to herself. You stumbled into it. Then you think, nobody's going to believe me. I'm on federal probation. We've been having troubles. All this stuff. So I'm stuck. What am I going to do? I've got to try to make it look like she disappeared. Ran off on her own. That's what I believe happened. You found her. You moved her. That's what I believed since the second day. That's what I believed after I talked to you. But if that's the case, you dang sure better tell it. I'm promising a weight will lift that you have no idea of if you can just get that off.
Well, and you even showed me on your phone how she searched. And I can see you also doing this to protect the kids.
The pressure is starting to get to Gonzales, and he realizes he has one last chance to change his story enough to possibly avoid life in prison.
Rather have been you that found her than one of the kids finding her.
Well, and eventually you've got to deal with this. You're going to have to break down and grieve yourself. And until you do that, you're not going to be right. You have to grieve this. And you can't grieve while you have that much pain and that much pressure on you. And I know you've stuck with the story so long that you don't believe you can go back. But I'm telling you, deep in my heart, I believe that you got scared. She did something to herself. And you didn't want the kids to know. And so you helped her disappear. Just relieve that pain and pressure. And just tell us where she's at. What's done is done. None of us can go back. But we can go forward. None of us can go back. ain't going to get no worse for you. But it'll get a lot better for your family. Look, dude, we will help you.
Did she take all those pills? 'Cause I remember seeing all those bottles next to her side of the bed. Did she take all those pills? Because those bottles were empty.
Just look at me and tell me where she's at. Why? Seriously. Just tell us. And we will make some of this pain go away.
I know this is probably a stupid question right now, but before I say anything, is there any way I can have something to drink and maybe smoke a cigarette?
Well, I can get you something to drink. I can't help you with a cigarette.
The cigarette we can have you smoke outside.
But I can get you something to drink. What do you want?
A Coke.
Just a regular Coke?
I'm going through my mind, Juan, of everything I saw next to her bed. And what I do remember the most, remember when we opened that, with all those bottles of pills, todo empty. And I think Mitch is right when he told me everything about you. And as one man who I have a lot of respect for. He's one of the few guys that I know que te dice las cosas como son.
All right, they got you a cigarette coming.
Thank you.
I was gonna.
Jenny's going to her call.
Okay.
Nothing, not a stupid question, but here's the deal. Time's a burning. So we'll get you the cigarette or whatever, but you need to tell us the truth. Why?
I didn't do anything to Kat.
Okay.
It's freaking pills, wasn't it?
I don't know what it was, Rosie. I just know that I told her that day that Like, why did she wait till she was 41 years old to do what she was doing? You know, I quit drinking for her. I quit the music business for her. After the first time I got in trouble when I met Mitch and them, you know, I promised that I would never go back like a lot of these dope dealers do.
And you haven't.
And I told her that she was stupid. You know, how could she do this to the kids, you know? And I don't know, I talked pretty bad to her that day.
Hey, listen, it's not your fault if she did something to herself. People do strange things.
I don't know what she did to herself.
Okay.
Gonzales has stalled just long enough to decide on a final story. He's worked up some emotion to back it up. He has one last performance, and he knows he has to make it count.
Okay, so what happened?
All I know is I left the house that day and she came out after me into the front yard and was yelling at me that, because I told her that I'd rather be gone with the kids than to see her do this to all three of us. You know, Nathan, I told Nathan straight up the day before that I thought his mom was really cheating, you know, and because Nathan could tell stuff was going on, you know, and asking questions, and I didn't want to lie to him.
He's a smart boy.
And you've done a good job raising him.
Huh?
You've done a good job raising him.
Anyway, when I was leaving, she says, I told her, you need to just go to your dad. I don't want to see you when I come back. And I said, remember how you used to talk down to me and that I was a piece of shit, you know, when I was doing the stuff I was doing? I said, well, you're a fucking piece of shit, you know.
She's breaking up the family.
And I told her that. Anyway, when I got back home, I had gone to go to the bank and pay Brian. I mean, I don't know if she took all those pills, Rosie. I mean, only.
I saw those bottles right there and they were empty.
Yeah, but I don't know when she was taking those pills or whatever.
So you got home.
I got home and she was laying on the kitchen. On the kitchen floor between the stove and the refrigerator.
I mean, was she like bleeding or was she just laying there?
Like passed out.
She was laying down face first. I turned her over and she had a cut right here.
Some of the details are taken from the truth. Lujan did hit her head on the stove while they were fighting.
That's how I found her.
Okay. So then what happened?
You panicked.
I panicked because I'm on federal paper and my record, you know, and
It's understandable.
and the kids.
So we got to hold it together for just a little bit. So you put her in the car?
No, I put her in the truck. It took me a while because of my back and my leg. The whole time I was just mad, like, what did you do? What did you do? You know, and because when I told her she was a piece of shit, she was like,
you put her in the truck, and where did you take her? Hey, I'm telling you, it'll get better. Just where did you take her?
I wrapped her up in some blankets and I took her up there on, what is that highway going towards San Angelo?
What, 158?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's a bunch of pump jack derricks out there, and there's a ravine or something, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do with her.
Okay, did you just lay her down out there?
Yeah.
Okay, how far off the roadway?
I don't even know the name of the road. It's
Like 1379? How far out is it?
Man, it's a pretty good ways out there. It's where Pioneer was drilling out there.
Okay.
You take her pillows also to make her comfortable.
Yeah.
Thought so.
All right, well, this is what we're going to do, okay? You're going to smoke you a cigarette and drink you some Coke, and then we're going to load you up in the car and you're going to take us, okay?
All right.
Just relax for a little bit. There's your drink. Let us step out here for just a second.
All right.
You know what, Juan?
Just relax.
I want you to listen to me. I'm glad I listened to Mitch. You know why?
Why?
Because Mitch told me you weren't that kind of person. But now, we're going to get her back and everything's going to be taken care of, right? Okay? Get it? And then, yeah, this one. Let me go. I'm going to go get the handcuffs on handcuff you so you can at least smoke it right, okay?
All right.
Did you get it for you? Where's the lighter at?
I don't know. She was gonna unhandcuff you so I could smoke it, right? It's in the pack, sir.
The lighter's in there?
Hey, they're going to let you smoke and they're going to run you out there. But did you take her immediately when you found her?
Morning.
Took her right then and drove straight out there. Okay. You're going to be able to find it, right? Okay. I'm telling you, you did the right thing, okay? You'll be all right.
You want to smoke in yours?
Or you can take it. That's up to you.
How about you smoke?
Smoke outside?
You want to smoke outside?
I don't know if the alarm will go off.
Is there an alarm in here?
It used to be, but I don't think so.
Dude, let's just do it in here.
We'll just smoke it in here. If it goes off, it goes off. Juan, on your phone, estaba apagado. Did you turn it off or you just didn't get anything during that time period?
What do you mean?
Because your phone, there's a time period that it seems like it was turned off. Like, one, a little bit after 2.
Rosie, I
No sense.
don't remember. I was panicked.
You gonna let you smoke it and go para atrás, see?
Okay.
I'm gonna close the door a little bit so people fall back in there.
Yep.
Did you finish the coke?
Juan Gonzales led the police to the oil field where he had dumped his wife's body. The autopsy showed that she'd been strangled. Gonzales pleaded guilty to murder and was sentenced to life in prison. He won't be eligible for parole until 2046.